All right. It should be ready to go now.
Great. Okay, take two. Welcome everybody to the Street Life Committee meeting of Community Board 8 for the month of November. It's Monday, November 6th, 6:31. My name is Abraham Salcido. I chair this committee. A few rules of the road for today. We have a very full agenda, so we will try to be as quick and efficient as possible. I will go down the agenda and ask each applicant to state their name and give us a summary of their application. For the applicants, I would ask that you let us know specifically for the SLA applications, whether you are ADA compliant, whether there's any outdoor space, either rear yard or sidewalk or roadway going to be used now or in the future. And if you're an existing applicant, whether or not there's any 311 complaints for the venue. After the applicant speaks or their representative, I will go to members of the public and inquire if any member of the public has any questions or comments on the application. And then I will go to my fellow committee members for any questions, comments, or actions on the matters. Just a reminder that any recommendation taken by this committee will go to the full board meeting on Wednesday, November 15th, which will be conducted via Zoom, but also in person at the, I believe it's at the Ramaz School this month. So without further ado, do I have the applicant or actually before that, sorry, Will, I'll go to you for the technical rules of the road.
I'll let Robert do that, but our full board meeting is at MSK this month.
Thank you for clarification.
Thank you, Abraham. Welcome. If this is your first time joining us virtually, you will notice that you're currently muted, and everyone will remain muted throughout the meeting except the committee chair, Abraham, and any presenters as we move through the agenda. Following the presentations, the chair, Abraham, will call members of the public who wish to speak. You can participate by going to the reactions icon on your device and pressing the raise hand button, not the wave or the thumbs up, as those will disappear. Only press it once. If you press it a second time, your hand will go back down. If you're calling in on the phone, it is *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute. Please be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once Abraham calls on you. The chat is available for technical support only to help Zoom software problems, not to ask questions of the chair or the presenters. They will not see these chats. If you're using an older version of Zoom, you need to go to the participants section where you'll find the raise hand feature there. Please not raise your actual hand or the screen because we may not be able to see you. Chat me. I'm here for support. Abraham, back to you.
Great. Thank you, Robert. Okay, I have the list of committee members. I have Bill, Lindsay, Lori, Marco, Rebecca, Robin, Valerie, myself, and I also see Barbara. So that makes 9 by my count. If any others join, I will keep an eye out, but feel free to also let me know.
Abraham, did you have Judy Snyder?
Yes, I have Judy now. Thank you. Okay, great. So with that, do I have the applicant or representative for item 1A for Pineapple Consulting LLC, 964 Lexington Avenue? There's a new application for liquor, wine, beer, and cider.
It's me.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Harold.
Hi, Harold. Welcome.
Thank you. So just go for it. Just tell you.
Yes. Just jump right in and tell us about your application.
What I want to apply for a full liquor license for a small restaurant at 964 Lexington. It's essentially a revamp of a concept I did downtown called Commerce once upon a time, and 55, 60 seats, something like that. And there's no outdoor space at the moment. I'm not sure how I feel about it on the Lexington Avenue side of things. The backyard is a storage only kind of situation, so there won't be any people back there. Again, it's a very small place, so I don't know what else to say. French Bistro essentially American, but a French soul, I would say. And I'll be cooking there every night, so maybe I'll see it.
Okay, great. Thank you. And the establishment location is ADA compliant?
It is not ADA compliant at this time. It's a landmark building. There'd be no substantial, renovations made.
Okay. And
When I
how about
say-
the entryway?
The entryway is 36 inches. The bathroom is big, but I don't know all the technicalities of making something ADA compliant.
You're filing with DOB though?
Yes.
Okay, so they will advise you and let you know what requirements you need.
Mhm.
On the frontage, I was just inquiring whether there's any steps or ramp required to get into the.
There are no steps. It's all on street level.
Okay,
Ramp.
thank you very much. Great. Okay, so first I'll go to members of the public. Do I have any members of the public with questions or comments on this application? Okay, seeing none, I'll go to my committee members, and I have Marco first.
I would like to propose a motion. The motion is to approve as presented with the stipulation.
Okay. I saw a second from Lindsay, and I will also second, so go ahead. Judy as well. Marco, I'm assuming the stipulation relates to the ADA compliance, yes?
What I assume is to file in DOB. That's it. The rest is up to DOB. It's not up to us.
Okay. Okay, so do I have anyone wanting, Judy?
Call the question.
Great. Second on call, great. I have thumbs up on calling the questions. Anyone opposed calling the question? And so, Harold, just to be clear, this will be a motion to approve with the stipulation that you're filing with DOB, which you've already expressed that you are. Okay, so I'm going to the roll. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, you will go down as a yes vote. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, do let me know, or you will be a yes vote. I also see that Evan joined us, and Evan, will you be partaking in this vote?
No, I missed this one.
Okay. Okay. Seeing no hands for abstaining, not voting for cause or no, this will go as a approval. So thank you very much, Harold, and good luck on the venture.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda. Let's go to 1B. Do I have the representative for Joseph Salameni? This is 1642 3rd Avenue.
Yes, my name is Bruno Joffrey. I have on the Zoom with me Joseph Salamini as well as William Loesch. Basically, it's a very, it's a small space, 55 seating, no bar, Italian bistro. I think it'll be a great spot for the area. Any other specifics that you have? My clients are on the line as well.
Okay, so typical specifics that we'll ask every applicant to state are hours of operation, whether the establishment is ADA compliant, whether there's going to be any outdoor space, rear yard, front sidewalk, or roadway. So if you can speak to any of those, that would be great.
Yes, absolutely. So the hours of operation, as per our submission, is 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to midnight Friday and Saturday, and Sunday 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. They were inquiring into possibly down the road wanting to do a sidewalk cafe if it's permissible, but that's something that is not going to be an immediate thing. But
Okay.
we put it down just so the community board's aware of it, that it's something that they have interest in. As far as the ADA compliant, they can answer that.
Could you tell us who your client is that's on the line
Yes.
and what maybe they're identified as in Zoom?
Loesch is the last name it's under. I don't know if it's Bill or William.
If you are
Bill.
Bill Loesch, please
Hi.
raise your virtual hand. There you go.
Hi, guys. I'm sorry. I was having a hard time raising the hand on here. Hi, how are you? This is Bill Lesh and Joseph Salameni. As far as ADA compliance goes, the current space is ADA compliant. There's a ramp and the doors are the proper width. But when we pull permits and go through the process with the architect and with DOB, we're obviously going to just make sure that everything's compliant and up to code.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, I will now go to members of the public. So if there's any members of the public with questions or comments on this application, please let me know. I see Kathleen Steed.
Yes, you can actually see where he's applying for in the background of my picture. It's the corner behind the tree. It used to be a Starbucks for many, many years, and then it was vacant for also many, many years. I'm not exactly clear. Is this totally solely a restaurant or a restaurant and bar? That's one question. And the other thing is, when Starbucks was here, they were very negligent about shoveling their snow outside, which led to at least people like me who are disabled having difficulty going around their area. So I am hoping that the new people will be much more neighborhood friendly. The other thing is there's an apartment building above the Starbucks, and are there going to be any kind of soundproofing in there?
Hi, Kathleen. How are you? Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Could we see you at all?
Oh,
or?
yes. Yeah, absolutely. Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Hi, guys.
How
I can't see our screen, so I don't know how clear it is. But as far as soundproofing goes, I'm one of the founders of a juice bar acai shop called Buy a Bar. We have 25 locations. We're actually opening up a location 1 block away from here at 1614 3rd Avenue. So we intend on being upstanding members of the community. We have at Buy a Bar a whole crew that goes around and makes sure that all of the storefronts, sidewalks, the interiors of the stores stay up to par in terms of cleanliness and appearance. And we're going to be bringing that team to also be a part of this concept. As far as the soundproofing goes, we typically use double sheetrock and things of that nature to avoid any problems. We can definitely put an emphasis on soundproof if that's something that you guys would like us to. And in regards to the place itself, it's not a restaurant bar. I wouldn't coin it that. We're looking to go more of the brunch lunch crowd. And, we want to leave the options open, obviously, as we get more embedded in the community and we're open for a longer time, but we don't plan on being open too late at night or having loud music or anything like that. We're looking to be more of a daytime operation.
And you are aware, I assume, that there are 2 restaurants right next to you, newly opened? Yes, that don't seem to be getting very much clientele, I will say. So hopefully yours is better. Thank you so much.
They're pretty niche, the concepts, but we'll see. Well, I hope they do well.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Kathleen. Seeing no other members of the public, I'll go to my committee members. I'll go to Rebecca first.
I move to approve this application with the standard stipulations of the Street Life Committee.
Thank you. Marco? And you have seconds.
Yeah, I would like to second if it's possible to call the question. Thank you.
Great. Okay. So does anyone oppose the question being called? If not, I'll go to the roll. Okay, so this is a motion to approve. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me an indicator, or otherwise you will be marked down as a yes vote for the approval. No, not voting for cause or abstaining. Addison, I saw that you joined. You're in on this vote, yes?
Yes.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, so that will go down as an approval. That's a 12-0. Thank you very much, and good luck on your new endeavor.
Thank you.
Thank
You.
you.
We hope to see all of you there.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item 1C. Do I have the representative for 1568 Gyro LLC? That's at 171 East 88th Street, wine, beer, cider. I thought I saw Kathleen somewhere.
I'm here. Hi, everybody. Hi,
Hi.
Abraham. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Good to see you as always.
Okay, good. Thank you. Nice to see you too. So, just to get on to it, so this is Yasuvlaki. They already have an establishment right on the corner at 1568 3rd Avenue. That's right on 88th Street and 3rd. They're opening up in the same building, just up the block on 88th Street. Originally, we wanted to do it as an alteration application and just alter their application to alter their plans to include this under the same license, but because they don't have interior access from one room to the next, we have to do it as a separate license.
Okay.
So this is just going to be another part of Yasuvlaki. It's just really an extension because their restaurant's kind of small, so this will be an extension for it. If they have an overflow, people will sit there. It's a wine and beer license. We're doing it under a tavern only because they don't have a full kitchen there. They'll just have a prep area. Most of the food will come out of the corner anyway. 40 seats. I think there's 10 booths each, four seats each. And they will have some outdoor dining once it's approved to do so. And it will be about 10 to 12 seats. Small place, 1,000 square feet, and their hours are from 11:30. They're really looking to 11, but we put midnight in case there's ever some type of a party or something they want to stay longer. But right now, Yasuvlaki's hours are until 11.
Okay.
In terms of ADA compliance, I will tell you there is a slight step up. Doors are wide enough, but there is it looks like to me it's maybe about 4 inches up. We will have a ramp there in the event that somebody needs to get in, and we will put the proper bell and signage up.
Wonderful to hear. Thank you very much. Okay, then with that, I will first inquire if there's any members of the public on this application. Seeing none, I'll go to committee members. I'll go to Judy first.
Can you please tell me what's a tavern license as opposed to anything else we hear?
Okay, so a tavern license means that there's no full kitchen or full entree type foods. There isn't a full kitchen here. There's a prep area for light foods. That's not to say that they won't serve full entree foods there, but they're going to come from their corner location. They won't come out of that spot. That spot will only produce type of appetizers type of things, or sandwiches or light food. That's what a tavern license is. It means it's not entree-like foods.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll go to Marco, then to Rebecca.
I would like to put the motion and to approve as presented. Thank you.
Thank you. I see some thumbs up, and then those are seconds, and I'll go to Rebecca for the calling of the question.
Thank you. I would just recommend you keep up to date in terms of your outdoor dining with the new laws. There's going to be a public hearing towards the end of November. So just a friendly reminder to keep up to date. And if you have any questions, there's lots of people on this board who can help answer them.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know that. Thank you.
Okay, would you like to call a question, or anyone else? Okay, great. I see support for that. Okay, so let's call a question. If anyone's opposed to calling a question, let me know. And let's go to the roll. So this is a motion to approve. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause, or abstaining, please give me an indicator. No, not voting for cause or abstaining. Okay, seeing none, this will go as a unanimous approval. Thank you very much, and hope that the extension goes well.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Likewise. Okay, do we have the next applicant, a representative for Water and Wheat, 1379 3rd Avenue? I will make a request that for any and all applicants who are presenting, please come on camera so that we're able to see you. So please do so.
Hi, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Welcome.
Well, good evening. Aurelia Tavares, representative for the applicant. Water and Wheat, 1379 Water and Wheat LLC. This is a restaurant, licensed restaurant wine, serving wine, beer, and cider. The difference between restaurant wine and tavern is the difference in the size of the kitchen. This is a full kitchen sit down, Italian. The two owners they're kind of Greek food, but they're Greek Italian, and it's Aristoseli Mitskatskis and Konstantino Moskos. They'll be opening Monday through Thursday, 11:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. And actually Monday through Sunday, they close at 10 every day. There are 14 tables. It will be 80% food, 20% drink. The owners are a little older. They have experience in the restaurant industry. The location is without incident, and it was a restaurant before.
Thank you. And can you speak to ADA accessibility? For the
I know that one of the bathrooms is ADA equipped. That's all I know. I don't know. I can't tell you the measurements, but I know that, and it was formerly a restaurant as well.
Okay. Are you filing with DOB?
No.
You're not filing with the Department of Buildings?
Mm-mm. This has all its occupancy.
Okay. So, and you're not making any alterations to the space?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to members of the public. Do I have any members of the public with questions or comments on this application? Okay, seeing none, I will go to Marco, then to Rebecca.
With a motion to approve this application as presented.
Thank you. I see a second. Okay, next, Rebecca.
Call the question.
Great. If anyone's opposed to calling a question, let me know. We'll go to Barbara, did you have a question or a comment on this application?
I wanted to get my voice in to approve. That's
okay.
it.
Thank you. Okay, so going to the roll. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, this is going to go down as a yes vote. No, not voting for cause or abstaining. Okay, seeing none at the moment. Thank you very much, Aurelia, and this will be a unanimous approval.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great evening.
Likewise. Okay, next on is item 1E. Do I have the representative for BurgerFi? This is 240 East 82nd, wine, beer, and cider.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, members. My name is Maston Sansom. I am the attorney for the applicant. I'm joined here by Will Coyne, who is the regional manager for the locations in the area, representing BurgerFi, BF New York 82 LLC, and their application for a beer and wine application. This is a restaurant beer and wine application, and as has been discussed, that the difference really is with the kitchen primarily, and this obviously will have a full kitchen, as the primary focus is certainly not on the sale of beer and wine. It's more of an amenity, obviously, for customers. There will be let's see, the hours of operation are 10:30 to 12 a.m. Monday through Thursday, Friday and Saturday, 10:30 to 2 a.m. and then 10:30 to 10 p.m. on Sunday. There is also recorded background music only. There is a planned small outdoor sidewalk cafe. The cafe would consist of 12 chairs, so approximately 12 people, obviously weather permitting, because it's not an enclosed area or overhang or anything like that. And I think It's currently under renovation, and will be ADA compliant once complete.
Great. Thank you. And yeah, so for any of the outdoor space and for any other applicants, you'll come back to us for those. So it's more of an FYI, but thank you for sharing the expectation there.
And just to be clear, and Rebecca, thank you for, I know you had mentioned, so the outdoor spaces are now requiring additional approval from, is
DOT.
it, I'm sorry?
Well, the program is being run under DOT. No.
DOT now, okay, now it was consumers and now it's DOT, okay. And so all that's gonna go through DOT, all right. That's always been obviously quite a moving target. COVID,
Yes.
post-COVID and everything else, so.
Great. Okay, first I'll inquire if there are any members of the public. Seeing none, I'll go to Rebecca first.
So I had my hand prepared to call the question on what I assumed Marco was going to say, but I just wanted to add one more thing. So the rules haven't been finalized for the outdoor dining, but it is different from the COVID era. There are rules requiring you to dismantle the outdoor space for several months during the year. So again, if you have questions, you can reach out to the Transportation Committee co-chairs. They'll help guide you and share any links. And I'm sure if you would like to testify at the public hearing, the community board would be happy to send you more information.
Right.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, and all of those future applications will come through Street Life, the community board. Okay. Bill, haven't heard from you. Let's go to you.
Put an application to approve.
Great, thank you. I have several seconds, and I'll go to Marco for the calling.
For the question.
Great, thank you. If anyone's opposed to calling the question, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to the roll. There's a motion to approve as presented. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me a sign. Voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining. Seeing none, this is a 12-0 approval. Thank you very much, and look forward to having BurgerFi back.
Great. Thank you, members.
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Great. Okay. Next up in category 2, do I have the applicant for 2A, City Swiggers? This is a 30-day waiver application related to the renewal for liquor, wine, beer, and cider. City Swiggers is at 320 East 86th Street.
Hi, this is Alan Rice.
Hi.
Yes, I failed to give you 30 days notice. And thank you very much for giving me the waiver. And we've been open for 12 years. And yes, we are ADA compliant, and we are using, we plan to use the sidewalk seating again under the new rules, but not the street. That's our current plan.
Okay. And this was a straight renewal, no other changes?
Correct.
Great, thank you very much. Are there any members of the public with questions or comments on this application? I'm seeing KL raise their hand, Robert. Excuse me. Hi there.
Oh, hi. Hi, I'm Kimberly.
Hi, Kimberly. You're free to go.
Thank you. So I live upstairs. I live above City Swiggers. And my neighbors and I have had a noise issue since the night they opened, like 12 years ago. And we've been we kind of took a break from dealing with this during the pandemic, but we've tried repeatedly for years to deal with the noise issue. And I don't even know where to start. It's just, we finally are here. We finally saw we've tried to attend the meetings in the past. And anyways, there's a whole history to this, but at this point, my neighbors and I just want to know what we can do. If the noise has been better the last few months, but I'm sorry, I wasn't that prepared for this because I just found out that he was
so
here.
maybe I can try to help guide you here. Maybe are you able to give me a little more details as to the type of noise, the time of day it is, so we can try to see if we can find a resolution.
Well, we've been trying to work with the management company, It's loud music, and we can hear it whenever they turn their music on. And Alan's tried to work with the management company and us over the years, but every time we think it's resolved, then it starts up again. So that's why it's like I almost don't want to jinx it, because it has been good for a few months now. But I just realized, my neighbors and I just realized that there was an extension for the liquor license. So we're wondering if it's just been quiet until he gets that, and then it's going to start up again. And again, it's mostly just loud music. Like I can hear the music when they turn it on in my apartment, and it sounds like it's in my apartment. But then also a few times, not often, but once, I think the last time was a year ago, we had like a live band on the sidewalk, and it was so loud, I think the whole block could hear it. And none of us thought there were permits for that. So I don't know how to check on that, but I guess my neighbors and I just don't know what to do at this point. We've contacted the liquor authority numerous times over the years and the community board. And I guess we just want to know what to do. We've talked to lawyers, but that's going to be a fortune for everyone involved if we do that. So I guess just going forward, if this liquor license is renewed, we want to know what to do, who to, I guess, contact to get the issue resolved.
Well, this is a great start. Thank you for appearing here tonight on this. So I'll let the representative from City Swiggers speak to this first and tell us your experience and what you believe is occurring here.
I mean, yeah, before we even opened, we got noise complaints. That 12 years ago, when we first asked for a license, they tried to stop us. We were a beer shop primarily. We do have people here. We close normally by 10 or 11 o'clock. We've installed several times. We've put in soundproofing. I don't want anyone to hear the sound. We've really tried. We even have a sound limiting device that was installed by the management company. And after it was installed, it was tested. We cannot go above a certain level on our sound system. It's impossible. So I don't know. As far as I mean, I'm not doing anything special just for. I'm not limiting just for anything. We're trying to do the right thing. So I'm glad to hear that it's been okay the last few months, and I hope to continue that.
Is it predominantly recorded music that you have in the space? What is the do you have any live music or any live
for our anniversary party, we had live music. One of the people who comes in frequently, he's a professional musician, plays classic rock normally, and we had a free show for a couple hours, 2 hours or so last year.
Okay. And on day to day, it's just recorded
music, which again, I mean, I've heard complaints about voices even. I don't know what to do about that.
Is there a scenario that you had mentioned that you close at 10 with another establishment? There was an occurrence where the venue itself was closed, but sometimes the staff would turn up the music. Could that be occurring here, even if you're closed, that maybe you're not aware of, if there's any after hours raising of the volume beyond what you've expected or anticipated?
I mean, I'll say in the early days that did happen, but everyone here is well aware of it, and things have been different since COVID. Our business is different. We hopefully act differently now. I'm really sorry to hear that it's still a problem. I don't want it to be. I've never wanted it to be a problem.
Okay, I'll go back.
Okay.
You can go ahead.
Well, I just want to say, no, and you have worked with us, but there is an issue where I think you are supposed to close at 10, but I do think your employees, and it sounds like maybe you've talked to them, but sometimes after midnight, 1 a.m., it's blasting. And we'll go down to look, and there's maybe 3 to 5 people in the dark listening, blasting music. and I think you know this, but we've gone down and my neighbors had some verbal altercations and the police have been called, and your employees have been really, in the past, been really nasty to us.
Okay, I don't know about after midnight. Not here. And as far as the police, we've never received a citation. Yes, the police have come, and often they come, there's nobody at the store. And we can't stay open till midnight. We usually close by 10 or 11, but we could stay open as late as midnight, but we don't. And as far as nastiness, I don't know about that. I apologize for that.
Okay, so I'm going to go to my committee members, but I want to say that, so if things have been good now for the most part, is that right?
Yeah, mostly. I mean, I still hear it when the music's turned on, but it's not blasting.
Okay.
So
and do you or any of the other neighbors have a, besides going downstairs, do you have a means for getting in touch with City Swiggers? Have they provided a contact number or any other kind of dedicated person to try to resolve the issues?
no, we used to call when they first opened, we would just call, and they eventually just hung up on us. So we started going down in person, and then they would just tell us to F off.
When is the last time this happened?
The last time that we went down, I mean, I've just stopped going down now. The last time I went down was definitely a year ago at the anniversary party. Over the last few months, I mean, since the new year, I stopped complaining, because I used to write to 311, and we would call 311, and the police would show up like at 4 in the morning or later after everyone was gone. So that didn't do anything. So I have not had an issue with the employees. I haven't. I think my neighbor might have, but like I said, it's been better. I haven't noticed it as much this summer, and I've just stopped going down and calling, because it just seems pointless. And
Okay.
also calling 311, and also again, it's been over a year, I think, since I've contacted the community board, because we tried with everything for like the first 10 years. And then the pandemic hit, and I just, it was a pandemic. So I just kind of gave up. And it kind of comes and goes. And I'm just afraid, again, it's been a few months where it's fine, but I'm just afraid if there's not going to be another community board meeting for another year or two for a renewal, that it's just going to start up again.
Well, here's what I can suggest, that if things have been going okay, then I would ask, City Swiggers to maintain whatever it is that you're doing, the status quo. I would suggest and ask that you provide us with a dedicated contact number, so that we're able to speak to you or another manager or someone, so that there is no incidents with the staff. Obviously, it's also important that you remind the staff of any of the kind of after hours noise that might occur. I'm sure you have already, but just to reiterate the message now that we're here at this meeting, and based that the license has been renewal, I think there's always a good time to set the tone and remind staff about that. So that's what I would suggest at the moment. With regards to the 311 complaints, I know it can seem taxing, and sometimes that it doesn't do much, but it does help us at the community board, because if there is a lot of 311 complaints by multiple individuals, we are able to invite the establishment back in to speak to and address those. So it is a little more concrete, in real time evidence, if you will, provides us with the time, the date, so we're able to see what is happening, and we can point to specific examples to have a conversation with the establishment about those. So I would encourage you, and to also, remind your neighbors that even though it might not be the most enjoyable thing to do, it is helpful. And if anything's do reemerge, you are always able to reach out to us, because we can again invite the applicant back to try to address those issues.
Okay.
Thank you. So I see another member of the public, but before I go to that, so from City Swigger standpoint, are you able to provide us with like a dedicated contact in the event that there's any issues even in the late hours when you or another manager might not be there, that can address in real time?
Yes, I believe put my cell phone number with the documentation. If not, I can give it to you again later.
Okay. If you're able to submit that again, just send that a number so that when we know there'll be someone to get a response in real time if there's any issue to the community board office. That way we have it on file and then we can share it with the residents for any concerns.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. I see another member of the public. I see Beth Gold. Can we unmute Beth? Goldman, I'm sorry.
Yes, hi. I listening to what Kimberly had talked about, and I'm the other neighbor that's affected that lives over City Swiggers. And I do hear their music every time it's turned on. It doesn't matter the volume, it still comes through the floor of my apartment. It has gotten better, I can say that. But also I have the problem is that they have outdoor seating, and that gets very loud. They have it both on the sidewalk and in the street. And once they do close, their staff and other locals tend to hang out in front, and they could be there till 1, 2 in the morning, still drinking and talking and smoking, etc. So I just wanted to put that in.
And so, Beth, and are you able to articulate when the last time that experience happened?
Yeah, I took probably 2 nights ago.
That there were individuals in the outdoor space in front of the establishment?
Well, not in the outdoor, but after 11 o'clock, they still had their seating outside, but there were people, I can't see because I'm on the 2nd floor and I have a fire escape, but I can hear that there are people that sit right outside their door and they talk. You know, they're loud, they drink, they're loud. So it's almost like I get it stereo from outside my building and through, you know, the floors of my building.
Okay, I'm sorry, I did not know that there was people outside. I mean, we have to bring the seating in. I didn't know there were still chairs outside at 11 o'clock.
Yes, I took a photo of it with the timestamp.
Great. If you're able to send that to the community board office, that would be great to have, just so that we're able to then show you that, you know, this was an occurrence, and that perhaps, again, just to remind and revisit this topic with staff.
And
okay. Thank you, Beth. All right. I will go to my fellow committee members. I haven't heard from, I'll go with Barbara and then Lindsay first.
At first, I can't believe it's 12 years. I remember when they came in front of us and there was some hysteria that people are going to walk around with beer. And when I've passed by, I'm sorry to hear there's been noise, and I certainly believe it, but it's been a very nice addition to our community in terms of the type of store. It seems to me there's some simple solutions. First of all, if things are better, it sounds like the manager doesn't quite understand why it's better. Like, find out what is making it better. Is the music lower? Is it a different type of music? And in terms of the employees, we've heard that before. And I think that as a manager, you have to say you cannot keep the music on after the hours. You know, you just have to put your foot down. And in terms, we have heard before that it's been the staff after hours that have caused most problems. If there is, I wonder if there can be some sort of insulation in the roof, you know, above in the ceiling. Some maybe change the tiles on the ceiling to make it more soundproof. But it's tough to know. But if it is okay, it must be a reason why it's okay. It isn't that no music is playing, I assume, but something had changed so that the last 3 months have been better, and maybe identifying it so it won't go backwards. That's my thought.
Thank you, Barbara. Lindsay? Go ahead.
I just addressed the soundproofing. We've had at least 2 or 3 treatments, and a problem is the ceilings are low. I looked into putting some kind of sound insulation on the ceiling, but nothing was fireproof, and it would have been a huge danger. So I was told not to. And also, it may not even be the ceiling. It could go through the walls. We've had several sound engineers come in, and I don't know what else I could do other than, okay.
No, thank you. And first, we definitely appreciate that you've done the back work into looking into that. The implication, or what it seems like now, that it might be a behavioral activities that are causing the noise. So in the near term, it sounds like things have improved, but it might, again, I think that's where the examples that have been given point to. So I think there might be a little more emphasis there from your side. Lindsay.
Thank you. I just wanted to point out two things from this application. It sounds like, Alan, when you were answering the questions, you were saying it's possible for you to stay open to midnight. In the paperwork that I'm seeing right here, it says that you're only looking to stay open as late as 11 p.m. So it seems like maybe keeping to that would be better for neighbors. And then the second thing is, it says also in the documents that you filed, when asked if there were any complaints, the response is, I have received no citations, but it sounds like you are aware of complaints. So that seems like something that in the future, being more forthcoming with that is probably better than not.
That's why, yeah, I mean, I am aware of them. Yes, of course.
Okay. Thank you. Next, I'll go to Judy.
Two things. One, it was said there was loud music outside. I think we all know you're not permitted to have music on the sidewalk. So that's a no-no to start with, even if it's once a year or an anniversary or whatever. So I don't know if that needs to go in the resolution or not. No outdoor music. Secondly, it seems from listening to this whole conversation has been said, it's the employees and the after hour not taking in the chairs, being loud, smoking, hanging out outside. So I think our resolution should have something in it that says the employees have to stick to certain rules, not be outside after the 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock hour, whatever it is, take in the chairs, and on the inside, that they shouldn't be allowed to play music after the patrons have gone. I think that should be part of our resolution, and that the owner should agree to the fact that the employees should not be listening to music after the patrons are no longer there. Is that an unreasonable request?
That's reasonable, yes.
Great. Thank you, Judy. Okay. Can we go back to, was it Catherine? Christine.
Kimberly, sorry.
Kimberly. All right. Got it wrong 3 times. Great.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to fix that. I'm not very good on Zoom. Just regarding the outdoor space, I live on the back of the building, and I haven't talked to Alan about this, although at some point over the years, I think he got a message that the employees go in the backyard and smoke and can be loud. And I have pictures of that, but that hasn't happened for a few months. So I didn't mention it, but if you can just be aware of that. I thought maybe you would talk to them because it is better, but sometimes they do congregate out in the backyard, especially after hours, and they go back and drink and sit and smoke, or they have. So if you can just be aware of that, please. And and just ask them not to do that in the backyard, please.
Yes, I will do that. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, thank you. And it's better, thank you. But it got really bad for a while. But again, the last few months, it does seem like something's changed. So thank you.
Great. Thank you for that addition. Okay. Let's go to Marco, Rebecca, then Evan.
Thank you. My first impression was to recommend the approval right away because yes, I was one of the person that I believe that didn't work this kind of the facility in our community, but apparently it was working. The issue is right now is especially for the residents. I strongly recommend, please call the manager or whoever it is. But the most important part is call as many times as possible the 311, because the 311 it will help us in the future to make the right decisions. Because right now, probably you forgot the complaint that you did, but when you have in 311 as a record, now we are talking different kind of business. So I strongly recommend, please call 311. The second part is, I hear the person that represents City Swiggers. He said that he has an expert in acoustics. Apparently, they are wrong. Yes, look, if they do properly, if you have a real acoustic engineers, they can design very well. The wall is not an impediment. You can encapsulate completely in the 3 walls or 4 walls and the ceiling completely, and you have almost noiseless. And with respect to the live music, you know that you cannot have a live music so far according with the zoning resolution. I think you have maybe 3, but also it has to be approved by in your application, and you never find that part. So that's my comments. If you don't put to acoustic remediations, and if I hope that the residents call 311, well, and that's the only comments I'm going to say it, but I'm not going to comment anymore, because I think a professional, not a person that just have a little experience, recommends something. The best way is a professional. Thank you.
We did have a professional hired by our landlord, and they're the ones who installed this and tested the sound limiter, and said that we complied with the rules. You shake your head, and also, like, I don't know. I live on Mulberry Street, and the comparison to noise and music there versus here, it's the same city, but somehow the rules are different. I don't understand.
Well, I mean, Alan, I'm not in no resist committee questioning what you've done in the past, so I want to make sure that that's clear. I want to go to Rebecca next.
Hi, I move to approve this application with the standard stipulations in addition to what Judy recommended be included in the resolution, and if seconded, I would like to speak to it.
You have a second.
Barbara's seconding.
Yep.
I'm just asking you not to call the question because I didn't want to cut Evan off. So that's my comment.
Okay. Evan?
Yeah, I was gonna just voice my approval for Judy's suggestion that there at least be some language requiring the employees to follow whatever rules we set forth for the establishment, so that if they don't, and this comes back to us, we'll just reject it next time. My question for the applicant was whether they would be agreeable to shutting off the music by 10 o'clock, since it sounds like most nights you're closing at 10 o'clock anyway. And maybe that would relieve some of the stress of the neighbors, knowing that music has to shut off at 10 instead of potentially 11 or later.
I'll have to think about how to implement that. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so just to recap, because we've alluded to this would be approved with the recommendations from Judy. Those would be, again, I think the points of concern and that are causing us to ensure that one, the current status quo, that things are good, be maintained. Secondly, that the employees or anyone be instructed that they should not be congregating outside or creating additional noise, whether it's in the front or the rear yard, including the smoking activities that were mentioned, and that after hours, once things are closed, there should not be kind of the music played at loud levels that would cause any kind of discomfort to the residents. Does that sound agreeable, Alan?
Yes.
And also just there's already a thing, but just a reminder on the live music and to bring in the outdoor, chairs and etc. Okay, so with that, I see a couple of hands that have stayed up. Do I have new hands? Barbara, do you have anything new, Barbara? I see your hand still up. Is that a no?
I thought my hand went down.
Okay. Well, since I have you, do you want to call the question on the...
Well, it was up originally to call the question. I thought it already was done.
Okay, great. All right, we're going to call the question. Does anyone oppose calling the question with the stipulations as presented? Seeing none. Okay, we'll go to the roll. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me an indicator. No, not voting for cause or abstaining. Okay. Well, again, Alan, thank you, and thank you to Kimberly and to Beth for coming here this evening, and hopefully we can keep the status quo. But I think the communication will be key for this. So thank you, and good luck to everyone, and don't hesitate to come back to us and reach out should anything change.
Abraham, I just want to make sure that you're aware that Addison left, but we were joined by Casey for that vote.
Yes, I have that. So it'll still stay at 12. It's just a different 12. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Moving on to Evan, did you have something on this application?
Yeah, I thought we were also going to add music off by 10. Seemed like we just glossed over that.
Yep. Happy to, yeah, sorry about that. Okay, now moving on to the section 3 applications. These are for the dispensary applications. Do I have the representative applicant for 3A Cloud 69 Convenience, 1317 2nd Avenue? Hello, Neil.
Yes, hi. All right, so this is an application for a Cloud 69 convenience store. It's a convenience store smoke shop located at 1317 2nd Avenue, New York. Gurdeep Josen is the owner of the corporation. He's currently operating the location. The hours that we would like would be around 11 to 9 p.m. The premises is, I think, close to around 700 square feet. So a fairly small location.
Okay, and what is your role? You said the owner.
No, I'm an attorney representing them for making the application.
Okay, so you're the attorney. Is the owner applicant here?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. Is there anything else that you'd like to share? Would you like to share the kind of the history or the background of
my client has many locations, many retail locations in New York. The other one that's on the agenda, it's My Way convenience store. I think his wife is the owner of it, but it's a family operated business. I've known him for many years. He's a good operator, good businessman. He lives close by and has many locations operating good operation of convenience stores and smoke shops. I mean, other than that, anything specific, I don't know what you're looking for besides experience.
No, just want to make sure that also that the establishment will abide by all of the requirements from OCM in terms of the displays, the windows. So I wouldn't know if you wanted to address those while you have the floor.
Again, I know there's a lot of restrictions on the limitations on the signs and things like that. So of course we would abide by that. I don't think they're interested in doing deliveries right now. There will be just kind of focusing on the retail business. And again, this is an area that it's kind of new for everybody, so as well as for them. So they would just probably try to maintain control, have the security, have inventory control, check IDs and things like that. Again, I have some information and some knowledge of it because the one in Long Island that opened up, I was kind of involved on it, and I know it's very regulated, very controlled, with security and inventory control. So, I mean, I would pass on that information to him. And that's about it.
Okay, so with that, I will first go to members of the public. And I see a Maggie Lehman.
Thank you. Thank you. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
My comment / question has to do with this application as well as the 23 other applications on tonight's agenda. If we're including, or I'm including, if it's all right with the community board, all three categories: the application for adult use, the application for provisional adult use, and then the layovers for future consideration. Clearly, I'm not going to raise my hand after everyone. So this is a general comment, but question for our Community Board 8. Does New York State or New York City have any guidelines or policy or legislation governing how many cannabis applications and thus retail establishments are permitted in an area? In our case, it's the Upper East Side. In our case, it's the area covered by Community Board 8. I've been on prior Community Board 8 meetings where applications have already been for similar cannabis retail establishments, where applications have already been approved by Community Board 8. So just tonight, on top of, I don't know how many, but there have been a number that the Community Board has approved. Just tonight, 23 seemed to me to be a lot for a defined area. And I'm asking Community Board if you're aware of any policy, or should there be some comment by our Community Board 8? That's number one. Number two, I noticed that a number of these owners have applications in for multiple locations: Verde, Green Health, Wheatish, I suspect NSE BAT and GSE BAT may be the same owner. This current applicant who just spoke himself indicated that that owner has different locations throughout the city. Is there, or should there be, or should our Community Board 8 comment on an owner having multiple sites? So
Maggie,
I don't think you're going to be able to address it now, but maybe when the members of the Community Board 8 speak to this.
So Maggie, this is Will Brightbill. I'm going to jump in. Abraham, if you would actually prefer to go through this. The reason why there are so many on our agenda, sort of on and off our agenda, a lot of them are withdrawn, is that OCM has opened up a sort of lottery window for 2 months. And so, Abraham, do you want to talk about this, or I'm happy to?
Yeah, I mean, I can. I'm so just following up on what Will's saying. There is a lottery by the Office of Cannabis Management. They're about they've opened up for about 500 to 1,000 applications. So what that has caused is that there has been
statewide.
Correct, statewide. And what that has caused is that there are effectively a scramble to try to get one of those golden ticket lottery licenses. So that's why you're going to see many applications for locations, sometimes by the same owner, to try to get one of those. Just because a applicant appears before us and we approve in concept that they can, does not mean that they're going to receive the application. So that's a bit of the disconnect between why you're seeing so many applications now and laid over for during this window period. And this window period goes until started on October 4th and it goes until December 18th. So I hope that helps clarify why we're seeing so many applications. And we've been working closely with the Office of Cannabis Management and all applicants, because we want to make sure that we're hearing only what we need to hear, and that we're, while at the same time preserving our right to comment on anything that might open in our neighborhood. And also the Office of Cannabis Management does have its rules published on its website with regards to proximity to schools, place of worship, proximity to other dispensaries. So all of that has been published and is available. So I hope that helps answer why we're seeing so many. So to clarify, and in short, just because we're seeing all of these applications does not mean, and actually very likely, we will not have all of these applications as established businesses in our community.
And for the multiple applications by one applicant, OCM does have a rule that you can apply for 3 essentially lottery tickets with any given LLC ownership.
Maggie, I hope that helps answer, and for anyone else that was wondering. So thank you, Will.
Maggie, did that answer your question? You put your hand back up, so I just want to make sure. Okay, all right. Sounds like
okay, maybe not. I'm seeing a member of the public with...
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead,
sorry.
Maggie. No, please, Carrie, continue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Abraham, that's a huge help. Thank you. And I had remembered reading that, but I didn't get the connection that you just clarified. So that does help. I am aware of the restrictions regarding places of worship, schools. I'm hoping that we'll not have a concentration in one area, but that they're spread throughout the 5 boroughs. What about the one owner having multiple locations? Is that something that should be addressed?
Well, that's state law, so we really aren't probably likely to change that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification.
Of course. Thank you. So I saw what I believe was a member of the public with the late title EMHS.
Yeah, I see her waving. And if you don't mind identifying yourself.
Yes, please.
Bobby Lane. And I just have a few comments as far as the location. I live in the building, and we've had not issues with the owner, the tenant at that shop. I think you run a very nice place. However, the location specifically, our building has had to move out grading work because we've had a lot of vagrants living there. We have a garage, long, steep incline driveway, which is right where their entrance is to their store. It's a bit of a hazard. We're right across. We have the MTA on the corner, and we have the Q line entrance on 69th across the street. We have a school, so that may rule this out. But we've really had some significant issues. Also concerned about the hours. I heard 11 to 9 p.m. I don't think those are the store hours. I think the one across the street, which it's affiliated with, is nearly a 24-hour shop. And I'd like some clarification on that. I just, there's so many issues since the subway line was put in with the amount of homeless we have right within those 2 corners on the east and the west side of the street. So it's a very tough location. And that specific spot, because of the driveway, not enough lighting, building out security to keep people safe, it's not the greatest location for that reason. So I'd like to specify the hours that, if you are going to approve this, that it closes at 9 o'clock. It's a tough area right now since the subway was put in. It's just not as safe. I personally was chased down the block by a homeless guy who defecated in a mailbox, carrying, a mail fiberglass box, chased me down the block with it from that spot. So I'm just concerned.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Okay. If there's any other members of the public, do let me know. Otherwise, I will go to my committee members. I will start with Robin, Valerie, and Barbara, and then Marco.
Hi, thank you. Neil, I guess you mentioned that your applicant has multiple other stores in Manhattan.
Yes.
How many other stores, and what are they?
Mostly convenience stores, smoke shops. He can tell you a little bit more specifically.
But when you say smoke shop, is that a cannabis shop?
No. Just as it's more of a convenience store. More of a convenience store with cigarettes, and maybe 50% is smoke related items, and other is mostly convenience stores.
So this would be the first cannabis shop in his portfolio?
First application that he's making for, yes.
So the other, when you say smoke shop, those are stores that I see that sell vaping products?
Yes.
And the like, am I getting it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Valerie?
Oh, thank you. Okay. A couple of questions. 1317 Second Avenue is, I believe, 800 feet from the Julia Richmond Educational Complex. Is that right?
Question to me, I don't know. Gurdeep, are you aware of it? Is that
there is a school nearby to there?
No, it's a couple of blocks away.
Yeah, it's a couple of blocks away.
It's 800 feet.
No, it's more.
Well, I'm looking at Google and it says it's 800 feet.
800 feet.
Well, the requirement is 500 and 200.
No, I believe the requirement, section 119.4, says it can't be closer than 500 feet to the school. But that doesn't mean that we can't say that we don't want anything that's 800 feet from a school. And by the way, St. Catherine's Park is right on the back of it. So it's not that far. Would you grant that to me?
I understand.
If you look at, okay, so I just want to be clear. It's the school starts on 68th Street. It's almost the entire block between 68th and 67th. And your proposed shop is between 70th and 69th. So I think the measurement, and I think that OCM has been using the Google map as a measurement, correct?
Yeah, we actually go on the Liquor Authority website as well, and to kind of measure it, and any location we measure it through the website LAMP. It's 200 or 500, and then we make the application, because again, we don't know if this location or any other locations are going to get approved. But if it's
okay, so you don't have, do you have control of the lease yet? Have you signed the lease?
Oh yeah, this is already an operating location.
Okay, but
convenience store for a convenience.
You're going to turn it into a dispensary that. Okay, but I'm confused. I think Robin was trying to ask, or somebody was trying to ask you, how is this going to? Is this going to be a traditional dispensary with the windows the way they're supposed to be, or is this going to be something else?
No, I mean,
rules about the signs, correct? If it's a dispensary, it has to comply with the restrictions regarding signage, which are different than the convenience store, vaping store signage.
I understand. The thing is that it is already right now operating as a convenience store. If we get approved, or any of the thousands of locations do get approved, one of whichever ones, they will have to convert this, they'll have to shut down as a convenience store, and we'll have to do some renovation and get approved, operate as a cannabis location.
Correct. That's what I'm asking you. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm just trying to ask you, you would have to change the style of the store, because as I understand it, there's really no attractive signage that you're allowed to use. It's supposed to say something like retail dispensary, not come on in and buy all sorts of stuff, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why we're trying to do the right way, unlike many other locations, but we're trying to do the right way by making the right application.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's why I'm asking you whether you have control of the lease already, because many of the places do not. So the second thing I want to ask you is with respect to there's another application, I don't know if it's on tonight or not, for 1308 Second Avenue. Now, am I correct in saying, and maybe Will and Abraham, those two could never be approved together, because then you would be within 1,000 feet of each other, correct?
That's right.
Okay, so is this like first to the courthouse, whoever gets approved first?
Pretty much, yes.
It's a lottery, so everybody who has put their application in is going to get drawn out of the lottery. And so if, they are drawn number one, and then the next one is drawn number two, the next one wouldn't be allowed, and they'll move to number three.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I'm following up a little bit on what Maggie was saying. I mean, all of our community boards in Manhattan and elsewhere, I think that, community board 3, I was talking to somebody there, they have almost 30 applications on for their next board meeting. So everybody's getting inundated, and this is like almost purely speculative. But I have to be honest with you, I made a mistake in the last meeting, and I supported the application at 334 East 73rd Street. And that was a mistake, because I went back. It's less than, in my opinion, 1,000 feet from the entrance to a school where little boys go, and they go there from, age 5 to 6 to age 12 or 13. And that was a mistake on my part. And I shouldn't have voted that way. But I'm not going to support any application for one of these dispensaries to be within 1,000, 1,200 feet of a school, let alone 500 feet. I think that is a mistake in the regulations, and I don't think we should be supporting any dispensaries that are close to any community facilities or schools or, places where children under 17 are going to frequent. So I'm sorry, Mr. Neal and Mr. Goodrich, I'm not going to vote yes on this. Thank you.
Barbara? Oh, and also just the packets for this section contain the control lease in the packet. So reviewing the packet would let us know that the lease is obtained.
I had a basic question for all, and when others that came in front of us talked about having outdoor security to make sure that people weren't loitering and smoking right in front of their stuff. So just generally, and maybe we could ask each one, will you have other security besides what's in the store?
Security. We don't have it right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Guard. Yes, if we get approved, we can put a guard outside, like that checks the ID and let the customers in.
Then
go ahead, Barbara. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to ask another question, and then I also have a comment. So things seem to be done very differently than before. Will and Abraham will know. It used to be that you got approved and then you got a store. Right now, what do you actually have a lease with the store? And I guess everybody's in the same boat. Or you're just guessing that would be a good location?
Yes, right now we are operating as a convenience store. said selling instant tickets, lottery, convenience store. And if any of our locations, we applied for 3 locations. They are like.
Are you the tenant in that store right now?
Yeah, we are currently the tenant.
I see. So this is your store that you would convert from a convenience store?
Yes, if we get approved,
I
yes.
didn't that before. So it isn't like you're making up an address, but they would do that. And the other thing, the smoke shops I see around do sell illegally pot. I hope that your smoke shop does not do that. Am I?
Yes, we do not. We have a hemp license that we received from the state. We are allowed to sell hemp, but we don't sell any THC products.
Now, my one statement I'm going to make is what I see just on every single street corner that I pass is the illegal shops. When I forget who it was, whether it was Maggie or somebody else, said that there was a shop right across the street, I assume that's not a legal shop. Am I right?
Yeah, the one right across us on 69, that's illegal. They opened after the cities stopped giving licenses, like cigarette license. That one is illegal, the one across the street from us.
I find I'm co-chair of the Health Seniors Committee. We've had meetings about the health aspects of it. I am very worried about the illegal shops that actually do lure the new people in. And I'm hoping, and what is said, and I hope it's true, that when legal shops come, there will be more of an impetus to shut down the illegal ones. They are popping up like anything now. No matter what street I pass by, they're horrible. The neon balloons, the neon signs, they're awful. And I want to support legal shops because I think that it will help with the illegal shops, which are very dangerous. Your product will be controlled. Those products are not controlled. Your ages controlled or you'll lose your license. Those will not be controlled. So I think we're much safer as long as it's you're within the guidelines of how close and everything. I will support this.
Thank you, Barbara. Next, I will go to Marco, then to Judy.
Thank you. Continue the discussion about the distance to the school. So I know more or less the dimensions. One block on an avenue is 200 feet, and the width of the street is 60 feet. So if the school is on 68th, it's 260 feet to the corner of 69th Street. You can add it maybe half of the block. So you have 360 feet. No more. This is the distance that you have from your store to the school. And for me, near to school is wrong. That is completely wrong. You encourage the children to go in that direction, and we shouldn't do that at all. In addition, yes, I check the other application of 1308, the Second Avenue. Valerie already mentioned that part. Just let's go imagine that both coincidental in the lottery have the same opportunities. What are you going to do? Because they win the lottery, they both have to operate? When I hear for one of the applicants, one store to the other, it has to be 1,000 feet away from each other. So the issue in this case, like in all of this, I checked very careful the address, and I found that yes, they want to see it just to participate in the lottery. But meanwhile, you create so much tension, and maybe if you're lucky, you're gonna have the store near to the school. I think it's wrong. You gotta, if you wanna do something serious business, you gotta check all of this, come back, and you are welcome to apply. But so far, I'm gonna say no to this application. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. So just to clarify again, there wouldn't be two the stores next to each other. If one won the lottery, then the other one would be passed over. Judy?
As I said at the last meeting, I'm not against cannabis, but I agree wholeheartedly with Valerie about her comment about being so close to the school, and we have a park right behind. We've already had a lot of problems with smoking in the park, so this wouldn't help any. I know you have to be a certain age, but people can get people to buy things and then distribute it to younger people. So I'm not going to be in favor of this. But Abraham, I have a question for you, and I may be wrong about this, but I thought I read, I don't remember who was processing the lawsuit, that there's a lawsuit going on in the state about these cannabis stores and whether they can open or not. Have you read anything about that, or am I wrong about that?
Yes, there continues to be a pending lawsuit where it was a group of New York veterans filed a lawsuit on a discriminatory basis against the way OCM was running the application process for the cannabis licenses. And I believe there was also an injunction set on the new licenses, which is still pending resolution. However, on the basis that that will be resolved, the OCM is still proceeding with these with the application process. If something were to change or result from that suit, it would obviously change and revisit the program, but it is operating and continuing to do so in the ordinary course.
Yeah, but come December or January, if this suit is still going on, then even whoever they pick from the lottery can't open a store as long as this suit is going on. Is that not correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we're not even sure this is going to happen.
But we have a responsibility because of them submitting 30-day notifications.
Yes,
This is our time period where we get the opportunity to comment. If
I
we don't
got-
comment now, we won't have a
I
chance to
got
comment
all
later.
of that, Will. I
Okay,
just
just making
want to
sure.
make sure that I had it right, that there was a lawsuit going on, and there's a possibility that this whole thing could be stopped. And also there's a possibility it could proceed. I just
Right.
wanted to be sure about that. But as I said earlier, I think I'm with Valerie on this. She stated it very clearly, too close to the school.
Okay, thank you, Judy. Barbara?
I'd like to call the question with the stipulation that they do have security, and I don't know if it's any other, and they are, maybe other stipulation that they are within the right amount to the school, which they wouldn't get okayed if they weren't, I assume. Is that true?
That's correct. They would not get okayed if they're within the 500 feet set forth by OCM. Okay, I see a second on that. Shall we call the question? Does anyone oppose calling the question? Okay, seeing none, in that case, we will go to the roll on this. So this is the motion to approve this application with the stipulation of the additional security, which was offered up by the applicant to ensure kind of the safety and security of the premises. Okay, so with that, if anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me an indicator. Voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining. Okay, so I see several hands. Can I go to Judy first?
No.
Okay. Russell?
Abstain.
Robin?
I very much agree with Valerie. I'm a no.
Marco?
Absolutely not.
Valerie?
No.
Lindsay?
No.
Okay. And then as for myself, I will also be voting no. As similar to the other applications that are coming before us, I think the visibility and the proximity to the schools is not something that we want, regardless of whether it is within the 500-foot approved requirements of the OCM. We are within our right to set up our own policies and kind of rules of appropriateness, and I think that is something that we should do. So here is an opportunity to demonstrate that, and especially that, and from my opinion, this school is actually on the same avenue. So I think that that has another factor. If it were across another avenue or another street, the distance for me is one factor, but I think also the visibility, the optics are not one that I am comfortable with. So I will also vote no on this one. So that's 7 no's. And
Rebecca is away from her computer right now. So
okay. So then that would have been 6 yeses, but since she's away, there's 5 yeses.
And
6
Abraham,
no's, 6
Bill
no's and
Angelos had left, but he's back now, so I don't know if Bill Angelos is going to vote on this.
Okay, 1 second. Bill, are you voting on this application?
Yes, I got lost connection in my internet.
Okay.
So I'm voting yes on this.
You're voting yes. Okay. Okay. So that is with Rebecca's coffee cup still up. Yes. That is 6 yes, 6 no, and 1 abstention. Therefore, the abstentions would tally into the negative, so it would not, the approval does not pass.
So as always, we need to have a
Correct.
proactive.
Therefore, does anyone want to make another alternate motion? Judy?
Move to disapprove.
Okay, well, you have a second.
And I would like in the resolution to state because it is too close to the school.
Yes, we would provide an explanatory rationale for that too. Okay, thank you. So Judy, you have seconds. I would say let's call a question unless anyone opposes calling the question. Okay, so this is a motion to disapprove. If anyone is voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining on the disapproval, meaning you're voting yes on the application, please give me the sign. Okay. Lori?
Yes.
Casey?
Wait,
Yes.
hold on. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I am voting against the resolution.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So you're voting, you made it for no, and so now I'm saying no, right? Is that correct?
You're saying
it's a disapproval, so no, saying yes vote is a no vote against the application. Will, correct me if I'm wrong, and a no vote is a yes vote, and a no vote is for approving the application. If
you
I
do
have
not support the resolution to disapprove, Lori.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't understand.
Yeah, so you are not supporting the resolution to disapprove. You oppose the disapproval.
Correct. I oppose the disapproval. So then I have to vote no, right?
Yes,
you are correct.
No, you're voting no on the disapproval, correct?
Right. So I'm voting no.
Yes.
I'm correcting my vote. So
Correct.
my vote is no.
Yes. Okay. Casey?
I'm sorry. I think my vote is no also.
Okay. Russell?
Abstain.
Okay. Barbara?
And Abraham, I have to leave, so you'll take me off as soon as this is over, okay?
Okay, thank you.
We vote yes on every one of them,
So you're voting no on this disapproval, correct? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bill?
So just to be clear, we're voting no on disapproval, meaning would be yes, right?
You support the application, yes.
Okay, no.
That's correct. You support the application. You're voting no to the disapproval.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
No.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 no's to the disapproval, 1 abstain. And then do we have Rebecca back? No. So that means there are now 6 yeses to the disapproval. So then our disapproval passes 6-4-1 with Rebecca on coffee. Okay. Well, thank you very much. As a reminder to the applicant, all of these go to the full board meeting. So we would recommend or encourage you, invite you to appear if you wish to sign up and speak at the public session for the full board. So thank you very much and good evening. Moving on to the next application. Do I have the representative for 3B? This is My Way Convenience. This is 1594 3rd Avenue between 89th and 90th.
It's the same, same people again. You're gonna get that a lot.
Yep, we expect it. Okay.
Thank you for having us in the beginning. I really appreciate it. But again, My Way Convenience Smoke Shop, 1594 3rd Avenue. Again, Kuljit Josen, the wife of Gurdeep Josen. Again, they do have a lease. They have a location. Again, it's a convenience store with the smoke shops. Hours will be 11 to 9. And approximately square feet is around, again, 800, 700 square feet store.
Okay, thank you. Do I have any members of the public on this application? Okay, seeing none, I'll go to my committee members. I'll go to Lindsay first.
This just seems like this is going to be a task of like seeing how close schools and parks are, and the density of the Upper East Side for both schools and parks means that I think this is going to be quite difficult. I don't know if we need to come up with like a benchmarking thing instead of us doing it on Google on the fly. But I feel like it seems irresponsible to punt to just say like, well, if it gets approved, whatever, someone else will figure out if it's 500 feet or not. So I don't know how we establish this, but there seems to be an ongoing problem.
Thank you. Marco?
Thank you. I think there is a church I think is within 500 feet, and that is the name of the church is the Lady of Good Counsel Roman. That is located nearby in the middle of the block between if I'm not wrong, is between 3rd and 2nd Avenue. It's in the inclined road. So for that reasons, I will oppose this application. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Okay, I see Boaz, member of the public, so I will go to Boaz.
Yeah, I joined late, but I just want to ask the community board members if you are opposing the legal stores. Basically, what you are leaving the community with the illegal stores. I know that you have your books, your laws, but I just want you guys to be realistic. I don't know if you guys go on 2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue. There are a lot of illegal stores right now. So just keep it in mind and be realistic. Thank you.
Thank you, Boaz. Okay, next I see Casey.
Hi. So just following up on one of the other comments. I mean, and this is part of the reason that I voted no to the disapproval of the last one. I do think that we as a board, if we're going to come up with something that is more stringent than what the law requires, that we should do it in a uniform way. So that we're not just kind of piecemeal saying, well, this one might be close to a school, that one might not, because I don't think that we are necessarily applying things equally across the board. And I think it would make sense for us to kind of come up with a rationale for what we as a board feel comfortable with so that in the future we have kind of a benchmark for this process.
Thank you, Casey. I think that's right. I think that's something that would be a next step for us as a committee to present and publicize. That way, you know, we're all kind of new in developing this process and approach, but that way applicants also will know coming in of that. However, similarly, individuals can choose to vote based on any criteria that they like. So that just because we had agreed a certain approach or policy or tried to agree one does not prevent anyone from voting contrary to that. So thank you, Valerie.
Thanks. I just wanted to say to Boaz's point, my understanding is, and I wasn't at the press conference, I think it was the other day with Keith Powers about stepping up the enforcement against the illegal shops by having the ability to padlock them sooner rather than later. It's just going to take a lot of time, no matter what, for these quote unquote legal shops to stop operating by virtue of the lawsuit, the lottery, and everything else that's going to happen. So I think we have to take two approaches to it. Getting rid of the bad shops is a separate enforcement action, if you will, as opposed to the putting in place the new shops and relying on the legal shops to put the illegal ones out of business. But I do think it's important to Lindsay's point, to try to figure this out. I mean, I think we should probably start plotting these places on a map and seeing where these schools are. And I don't think I think we can, you know, sooner rather than later, put a policy in place about schools and churches. And we should, I would suggest either a letter or a resolution to our state officials saying that what's in these regs isn't right. It shouldn't be on the same road and within 500 feet of the entrance to the school, or, you know, 1,200 feet on the same road. I mean, this is New York City. Those regs were written for jurisdictions in New York where you have these expansive school campuses and there's nothing there and nobody's walking. They don't really apply very well to us. And I think we should ask our elected officials to go back and fix this before it's too late and come up with the right answer. Thank you.
Thanks, Valerie. Just a reminder, for when the rules were proposed and promulgated, there was a comment period to speak to these items, and we as a community board did offer our input into there, so that if opinions have now changed or evolved and we want to do that again, we can do that. But I just want to make clear that we were part of that input process when these rules were promulgated. Okay, Marco and then Lindsay.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to tell you, since I have been in the community world for 14 years, usually I give you a couple of minutes and I put in the map using the Google Earth the locations of the applications, so I understand where is how frequently or how near are each other, are one to the other. So it helped me a lot, because with that part, it allows me to have a clear picture, exactly a very uniform decision to see if it's within the school, within in the church, or nearby to another cannabis store. So that's one comment that I would like to say. The other one is, I think now Russell is right here. I think he has to listen carefully. Now they are complaining that the illegal stores. So we can create a task force to enforce these violators, because these violators doesn't mean that we have to violate also myself. So we had to be very careful in our opinions, and we had to be fair with those business that legally operate. And for those business that do not operate, so we can create a task force in that direction, and we can resolve the problems of the illegal shops. So my point is, yes, I did my due diligence carefully, because this is a serious business and we had to be very responsible on our decisions. And that's what I'm staying in the community board for 14 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Lindsay?
Yeah, the last thing I want to say on this distance thing is it seems like we need to parse two bits. One is this 500 feet, because 500 feet is really not a lot. Like a school block or a city block can be 900 feet across. So like 500 feet is not a lot. But the when I'm reading the New York cannabis law on it, it says it can't be on the same road and within 500 feet. And so the on the same road part seems to be even more problematic because I believe for this one, I think Dalton's 2 blocks away, but on the same road. So that's just like another complication for us to consider.
That's right. And we'll see that at one of the upcoming applications. Valerie?
Yeah, I just want to go back. I mean, I appreciate that we put in our regs, but I mean, even Liz Kruger at one of our meetings said she was surprised at how many. I think nobody anticipated as Will said in one of our conversations, the gold rush to have all these locations come out. So I think, I mean, I think that you're right. We're reacting in real time to this, but I don't even think the electeds thought that this was going to be an issue when they approved this. So anyway, I'm a no on this one. Bye.
Russell?
Yeah, I'm just responding to Marco. So I don't think we need an enforcement task force, because obviously the community board itself, we don't have the ability ourselves to go out and do any kind of enforcement. And so I think, this committee has many times called for more enforcement of, various different rules that are germane to what it does. And in fact, this committee has also called for more enforcement with respect to illegal weed stores. So I don't plan to create a task force about that. So I just wanted to respond.
Thanks, Russell. Robin?
Thank you, Abraham. I just want to comment real quick. I reject the notion that voting down a legal cannabis shop increases the proliferation of illegal ones. I think the illegal ones are going to try and go into business, try and do their thing, try and keep selling illegally, whether or not we approve legal ones or not. So I don't think we're ameliorating the problem in any way by turning down some of the legal applications. Thank you.
Robin. Lori?
Thank you. Robin, I respectfully disagree with you. I am, first of all, I should say that I have been using medical marijuana for a good long time, and because of my multiple sclerosis. And I posed this question to Liz Kruger a couple of years ago. And I said to her, why is it taking so long for New York to get this together with the legal cannabis shops? I thought that when they made it legal, that they would proliferate, that there would be entrepreneurs who would be like running to establish the shops. And why isn't it happening? And it turned out that it was because of all the complications with like getting the law together. They didn't really have it, well thought out, I guess, enough. But in any event, I wanted to ask a question, which is, does anybody know what is the regulation for the distance between an alcohol shop and schools? Like, what is the difference? And what I would suggest is that what it is should be the same for cannabis shops. That makes sense to me, and I think that that's a way to sort of explain it. I think that alcohol is much more dangerous than cannabis. And so anyway, so that's my first question is like, what is the distance? And I don't believe that we should start getting into more task forces or more bureaucracy to make this even more complicated than it already is, because it is true that what did happen was that all the illegal shops came to fore, and so all the illegal shops have been promulgated. And in the meantime, people who are waiting, I mean, I can still get marijuana because I can go to a legal shop down on 14th Street, but, I would rather get it around here. And so my question is, when I think that we need to do whatever we can to make this, to go along with the state in its slowness in getting them established, because the illegal ones are going to continue to promulgate, and the legal ones are just being held with a string around their neck because, those of us who are on community boards are like opposing this for not sensible reasons. Anyway, if somebody could just tell me what the distance is between.
It's 200 for liquor licenses, Lori.
It's 200 for liquor stores? Okay.
The 200-foot rule for under SLA.
Okay, so hearing that, I totally agree with the 500 figure in the cannabis law. That's totally fine. Nothing wrong with it. And let's get this established and going forward, and start collecting taxes on this product, on this legal product. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Welcome back.
The other meeting wasn't half as interesting as this one, so I'm back. A couple of things. First of all, just in terms of what Robin said, I don't believe that we would get more if we don't have the legal. I think we would have less if we do have legal. What has been shown, and I hope it's correct, and I've spoken to people in other districts, as soon as the legal shops, but a long time ago when we had one on 8th Street and one on 14th, I think, immediately they were shutting down. They were much more active shutting down the illegal ones. We are having problems with the illegal shops. That's number one. Number two, from what I understand of why things were slow, is because they were trying to get New York State farmers, and they were going about it in a way, and it was just ridiculous. New York really screwed up with their the way they rolled this out. Number three, I had something else to say, that when we started, if you remember, Abraham, having joint meetings with health seniors, and then you took over, we had resolutions to say it should be similar to liquor stores. And I agree. I don't know why we now have to say it's much further. Why is it any different than a liquor store? And one of the reasons is that a liquor store has shown that if they're legal and they're responsible, that there hasn't been the same amount of problem. And that's what I'm hoping will happen actually with the legal ones. And the other one, to say that there was shock that there's proliferation, is a shocking statement to me, quite truthfully. My son lives in Denver. I remember when it became legal in Denver, there was a whole slew of people. In New Jersey, they're starting to open up already. We know it's a hot, lucrative shop for people to do. I don't think there's any surprise a lot will come. And I think we're seeing a whole load now because it's legal. We don't see as many liquor stores or opening up because they're established. There are not that many more. So I'm going to try to support, unless it's, I'm not voting on this one because I wasn't around at the beginning. I did go off. But just generally, I wish we would have more of an open mind. I understand the fear that people have, but it's there. I mean, your children are exposed to these illegal shops that are very, very alluring. I know this from it, and I would rather have the legal shops.
Barbara, thank you. You did not miss anything at the outset. This is the same applicant, different location, convenient.
Oh, okay, so I can vote.
You're welcome to participate. Okay. Good conversation and dialogue. Do we have anyone that wants to put forward a resolution? A motion to approve, disapprove? Barbara?
Motion to approve.
Okay. Do we have a second? Yep, I see a second. Okay. I think we should call the question. Does anyone oppose calling the question? Okay, I'm going to see none. All right, so this is a motion to approve this application. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me an indicator. This is a motion to approve. So if no, not voting for cause or abstaining, let me know. Okay, Barbara, you still have your hand up. So I think that's just an error. Okay, thank you. Russell, I'll go to you.
Abstain.
Okay, Russell's an abstention. Valerie?
Sorry, no.
Okay. Robin? I'm sorry, Marco first?
No.
Thank you. Robin?
I'm a no.
Mine.
Okay. Judy?
No.
Okay. And then Valerie already got you. Lindsay?
No.
Okay, so that any other hands? That's 5 no, 1 abstain. Rebecca is still away. So we're in a same boat, right? 6, 5 no, 1 abstention, 6 yeses, and then 1 away. So we need another another action because we're at 6. Unless my math is wrong, I have 6, 5, 1. 6, 5, 1, and 1 away because we're 13. Marco?
I'm sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. There are 5 no's, 1 abstention, so totally 6. And then there is 6 people that vote in favor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so there is no opposition, so we had to deal that one in the full board.
No,
So-
other people can make a motion. You could make a yes if they can prove that they're far enough away. You can say a no unless they prove that they're, not far enough away. You can make other conditions that maybe somebody would vote on. This
The
isn't
only
a yes
situation
or
is-
no. There
But
are other
the
options.
best way is to let the full board decide it.
Russell?
Yeah, I'm going to abstain on the next resolution. So if it's a resolution to disapprove. So I think Marco is basically right that we're sort of at an impasse, and I think it is best just to
if there's
have no
nothing,
position
votes
and
or
just move
abstains,
on.
yeah. Okay. Judy?
Didn't you say there were 13 votes?
Yes, but Rebecca is away, so
Oh,
we're at 6, 6.
Sorry.
So, okay. All right. So we take no position on this one. Again, I encourage the applicant to come to the full board meeting because then the full board can vote on whether or not to approve or disapprove at that meeting. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next. We have do I have the representative for item 3C. This is Hooch, 1662 First Avenue.
Robert, do you know
I'm a prompt to unmute. Go ahead, Will.
who are we looking for?
Connie. Connie, you should be seeing a prompt to unmute on your screen.
Yes. Hi, good evening, Community Board 8. I am interested in opening the cannabis dispensary at 1662 First Avenue. I would like to give you a little knowledge about myself. I lived in Brooklyn all my life. I graduated from high school. After high school, I joined the military. I was a Vietnam veteran. And I'm a very proud veteran. My discharge from the military, I went to work with General Electric and Kawasaki on a venture with MTA building trains as an electrician. Later on in my life, I became a paraprofessional and I worked for the Board of Education. And I'm a proud owner for the last 10 years of Greenwood Park Beer Garden in Brooklyn. I have held a lot of positions in numerous veterans organizations, from the American Legion, Disabled American Veterans. I am the president of the Memorial Day Parade in Brooklyn. I've been awarded the veterans. I've been inducted into the Veterans Hall of Fame in Albany in New York State. I am a reputable person in my community. I am looking forward to helping my fellow veterans who do need to do the cannabis. And I'm happy to respond to any questions or anything you'd like to know about the industry. I'm committed to work with local residents and ensure that the dispensary is an asset and a good fit for the neighborhood. I will hire locally, and I will support local charities and community groups. I will also work to educate the community about the responsible, safe use of cannabis. I want to create a safe and welcoming space where people from all backgrounds can learn about and purchase cannabis products without it being intimidating. I am confident that I have experience and the skills necessary to operate a successful cannabis dispensary. I am also committed to continuously being a good neighbor that provides value to others. For this reason, I ask for your support in making this dream a reality and ask that you provide a letter of recommendation to the Office of Cannabis Management for my company.
Sorry, I'm on a call.
Thank you, Concepcion.
Thank you. You can call me Connie.
Okay, Connie. Okay, do I have any members of the public on this application? Okay, seeing none, let's go to Robin and then Marco.
Hi, Connie.
Yes, Robin.
Hi, you came to our meeting on Roosevelt Island, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I mean, that was my question, but I did remember you.
Oh, thank you.
You have a lease on the shop that you're planning on opening?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco, then Barbara.
Thank you. I just want to comment something. I just heard today in the Channel 7 news that smoking cannabis increase the potential of heart attack. That is just only an information. You are located in the place that was shut down several times. Is that correct? In front
I have no knowledge of that. I just looked for a real estate area that I could go, and it just happened to have attracted me. The color pink. The store was pink. I was thinking of my granddaughter, of Barbie, and that was it. It just
so the issue. So the issue is next. Yeah, I don't know if it was you or somebody else that they had the sheriff went 2 or 3 times. Even the Julie Menon sent the sheriff to close that place. The issue that I have, yeah, I will appreciate your service. I mean, usually I strongly support the veterans. I think that's the way that should be. But in this location, around the corner, you have the Joseph's Church, 250 feet, and you have right there next to that part, you have the Joseph School place. So you are too close to these facilities, regardless that you are a very good person that served the country. But we cannot, personally myself, I cannot waive to protect the children of our community. And this is what I'm going to say no to your application. But if you look for another place, probably I will change my mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco, Barbara, and then Lori.
Two things. First of all, tell me what store is there now? I can't think of a pink store. What's there now? You're not in the current smoke shop, is that correct, Connie?
Yeah, hi. This is Teddy Anastasia. So I represent Connie as well as Stephanie as well. And right now we're not currently in an illegal smoke shop, nor do we have any knowledge that it was an illegal smoke shop beforehand when we work with a real estate broker.
May have been illegal. I'm not saying what. So where are you, between 87th and 88th?
87, I believe 86 and 87th on First Avenue, 60,
I'm so sorry.
62.
I'm so sorry
Teddy,
also
hold
to
on.
interrupt, but Abraham, would you be so kind as to please unmute Duncan Delano? He's also counsel to Connie as well as Ted and myself.
Sure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
There is an illegal cannabis shop on the west side between 86th and 87th right now that just opened up. That you want nothing to do with that, I assume. Am I right?
No, none at all.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know the one?
Yes.
It's an illegal, absolutely awful looking shop. I'm going to ask the same question. Would you supply, there is a lot of residential right there. Will you supply security outside to make sure that people are not roaming around and smoking and, leaving?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
I have security at my other business, my bar. So I will be using the same company because I trust them.
And thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Lori?
Yes. First, to Marco, I wanted to make the point that we are not talking exclusively about people smoking pot. This is not about smoking. And in fact, one of the reasons why I am so anxious to get this illegal enterprise going is because they sell legally manufactured gummies and liquids and things that do not have to be smoked, edibles, etc. So I know that many of you probably have this vision of like, shady looking people, shady looking young people standing outside the shop, smoking, that's not what this is about. This is about going in and purchasing legally, paying the taxes on a legal product. So I just want to say thank you for your service. And I, of course, will vote yes.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Lori. Russell?
Motion to approve, and if it's seconded, I'll just speak briefly.
Yep, I see you have seconds. Go ahead.
Can you just, I didn't see it in the application, but just confirm that you're going to have compliance signage with the with what the rules are.
Of course.
Great. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to vote.
Okay. Rebecca?
I'm so sorry. I got an emergency work call, so I don't know about this application. I didn't hear the conversation. So just vote me not present.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Then we have the second. I would say let's call a question unless anyone opposes calling the question on the approval with the security stip. Okay, so if anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, let me know. Okay. Marco?
No.
Thank you. Valerie?
No.
Lindsay?
No.
Okay, and Judy.
No.
Okay. So in that case, this one, still not counting Rebecca, will be 8-4 approval, making us 12. So Connie, that's an 8-4 approval. Again, this will go to the full board on Wednesday the 15th. You're welcome to attend that one as well and speak during the public session because it will be voted on again at the full board. So thank you very much. And again, thank you for your service and thank you for attending tonight.
Thank you, Community Board 8. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good evening.
Okay, next, do I have 3D Verde NYC, DBA Mama Verde, 1276 Lexington, between 85th and 86th.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Rafael Urena. I'm an attorney for Mama Verde. Mama Verde is a Latina mother-owned cannabis corporation. It's owned by two mothers, Christina Rez, a mother of a 2-year-old boy. She lives in Brooklyn. And Crystal Bloomfield, who lives in Maryland. She's a mother of 3 boys and 1 small girl. They intend to open a retail cannabis dispensary at 1276 Lexington Avenue. That's on the corner of 86 and Lexington at the old TD Bank. It's 80A compliant location. It's about 1,100 square feet. This location will comply with all of the regulations regarding signage. They actually have a rendering of the space, I'll put that right behind me, in which they intend to use as the image, inspiration for the store. As you can see, all of the windows will be frosted pane, so you can't see what's going on inside of the store. There'll be security outside of the store and inside of the store, greeting customers, making sure that no children under the age of 21 are loitering outside of the front, make sure that nobody is consuming cannabis on the corner or just causing any ruckus whatsoever, and just be a vigilant member of the community on the corner at 1276, which has kind of fallen into disrepair somewhat because of the vacancies on that corner right now. Both the old GameStop is vacant and the TD Bank and the old Hot and Crusty are vacant as well. So I think this corner is in some need of a vibrant new tenant to bring some life into the corner. It is not within 500 feet of a school or a church or on the same road as the cannabis laws require. I hear a lot of concern about the children of the community. Obviously, that's at the ethos of Mama and Verde's vision about the company they went to create. Christina is a educator. She was a board certified behavioral analyst working with autistic children for more than a decade here in New York City. And Crystal Bloomfield is a interior designer. She's a real estate developer. So she intends to build something really beautiful for your community if you guys will give her the approval. And with that, I'll open the floor to any questions anybody might have, or Mr. Salcedo, it's your show.
Thank you very much. First, I'll inquire if there's any members of the public with questions or comments on this application. Okay, seeing none, I will go to Barbara first.
Is it too early to call the question? I think it's answered every one of our concerns we had before.
Well, I think first you'd have to put forward a motion.
I put forward a resolution to approve.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay, I see a second. Okay, Robin, your turn.
It's before we approve. Can I ask a question, Abraham?
You can, yes, I'm going to allow leeway here. You can ask some questions. We haven't called it. Anyway.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Raphael, thank you for your presentation. I live right there. That's my corner. So is the entrance of the shop going to be on 86 or on Lexington?
Lexington Avenue.
Okay. Do you know how close you are to the Ramaz School playground?
I do not know that playground, but is it the one next to the school on 88th Street?
No, no. The playground that I'm addressing is right above the TD Bank.
There's the upstairs tenant is a mattress firm. It's
Yeah.
It's upstairs is mattress firm.
Yeah. I'm going up another couple of stories, Raphael. There's
Okay.
there's
Our discussion with the landlord, he did not disclose that there was any child
okay. Well,
tenants
you know,
inside there.
that's landlords, right? So if you look up, you will see a couple of stories up. There's the rooftop playground for the school that is on 85th Street. And it, you know, it kind of backs into 86th Street.
On top of the roof of 1276.
I don't know the exact address of the building, but right above you is a rooftop playground.
Okay. The regulations, I mean, we're obviously concerned. This is 86 in Lexington. There's going to be a lot of traffic from all sorts of people going back and forth. So the idea that there would be no children in the vicinity of 86 in Lexington is almost, nobody could fathom that, right? But the purpose, so the store itself will be discreet. It's not going to be on the roof instead of next to the playground. And like I said, there's going to be a security guard to make sure that nobody's loitering in front of it and making sure that no children go into the store itself.
How many security guards do you need to keep that area cleared out and kids away from it? How many people would be working in that capacity?
There will be a general manager who will also be ensuring that, overseeing the operation of the store, and there'll also be a security guard directly at the entrance, and will step out and greet people before they're allowed to step through the thoroughway.
Thank you, Raphael.
No problem.
Thank you, Robin. Next, I have Marco, Rebecca, Lindsay, Barbara.
Thank you. So you can prove whatever you said on Wednesday or Thursday. And Wednesday, we're going to have a meeting on the Ramaz School right there, 85th and Lex. So, and the distance from 86 to 85th is 200 feet. That's I know for a fact. So you are too close to our part. One. The other one is you also, there is in the mid block between between Lex and Park, you have the Park Avenue United Methodist Church. So you have two places very close. And I think the only thing I had to clarify to Lori is I don't try to imply anything. The only thing is I provide some facts that I hear, and that's it, nothing more. I respect whatever people does. It's their decision, it's their lives, and I respect deeply their decision. If it's for some to help some illness, it means it's perfectly fine, and I do not oppose. The only thing is it has to be within compliance with the regulation. That's it. That's the only thing I'm saying. I don't want to attack to nobody. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Rebecca?
I don't want to inadvertently cut people off. So I know Lindsay, Barbara, Lori want to say some things. If you could call on me after them, that would be great.
Okay, happy to circle back. Lindsay?
Yeah, this is just as simple that this seems to be within 500 feet of Ramaz Middle School.
Great, thank you. Barbara? Actually, Barbara, let me go to Lori since you already made the... Lori?
Yeah, okay. Again, I am not trying to dismiss the regulations that exist. If in fact it is near to more than 500 or less than 500 feet to Ramaz, then obviously it's going to be disapproved because that's the New York State law. So I'm not going to argue distance, and I'm not going to show up with a measuring tape. But I mean, if you look it up and Google says that it's less than 500 feet, then we have to say no. But I am not going to, well, that's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. And Marco, I'm not trying to, say that. Well, no, I just wanted to, let me tell you the experience that I had when I went to buy legal medical marijuana on 14th Street. Okay. First of all, they wouldn't let me into the building until I showed my medical marijuana license, my card that says it's okay. So I would imagine that if you guys are having a security guard outside, you're not going to open the door for people who look like they're, you can do a card check. You can check the licenses or the whatever kids use for an age. You can card the kids when they go in. And again, alcohol is much more dangerous than legal cannabis. That's it.
Thanks, Lori. Just one important clarification on the 500 feet for OCM. There's an important and. The rules say cannot be on the same road and within 500 feet. So that's where this scenario is different, because technically the Ramal School is not on the same road because it's on 85th Street, whereas this dispensary will be on the avenue. But it is within less than 500 feet, so it would not violate that because it needs to have both components of it. So that's where here I think people can use their discernment as to whether or not it's appropriate for this location. Also, Barbara, I'll go to you and Rebecca. But as we're getting approaching the 9 o'clock hour, I would try to encourage people. I think we know where a lot of people stand and how they feel about cannabis and their criteria. So if we have comments, let's try to focus them on any specific application going forward, so we can kind of try to be as expedient as possible. Barbara and then Rebecca.
Am I still unmuted? Yeah, I am, right? You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wasn't sure if I still would. I'm just going to make a comment. I think what's obvious from all of these applications is we live in Manhattan. You have very few streets where you are near a playground that's 5 stories above you, or a church, or a nursery school, or a private school, or something. We have a rule that's there, and I think people that don't want to vote for it will find another reason for it. And just to talk about it's too close to a school, again, I'm going to say I would rather have a legal one there than the illegal ones that are right by the school. But we can't find a place where we're not close to some place where there's children.
Thanks,
That's all I'm
Barbara.
going.
Rebecca?
Rebecca, you're unmuted.
I'm going to be a little bit unlike myself and a little risky with parliamentary procedure. I would say we move to table until we have, and I apologize if I missed a Ramaz representative, but I don't think we can make a vote without having one here to speak. So I would move to table until the next meeting.
I don't know that we have, do we have that luxury because of the notice requirement that they filed? So if we do not, it would have to be the applicant that
I don't
would
know. I think we can.
to...
I think we can be creative here.
So,
which is that we heard from the public.
So no, we don't really have that luxury. The long and short of it, or you're playing Russian roulette, I guess, if you want to. They have a 30-day notice, and then we can extend that for 60 days. What is the date of the stamp on when we receive this? It would be in the application. It would be in the application materials. Just
October 4th.
October 4th. So 60 days from October 4th is when we would need to have submitted our full board vote.
And that's December 4th.
Yes. So if you want to push it off, you can hope that OCM is behind and doesn't make any actions until January, and we have time. But I chose my words pretty well earlier. I think you guys should consider yes with conditions and no with conditions for types of applications where you're not sure of a certain fact. That's my opinion.
Well, would another option be if the applicant would voluntarily choose or ask to be withdrawn and laid over?
That is accurate. They could.
So that
withdraw their notification in writing. We'll send it to OCM, and they could come back at
I think
another
that's
time.
the best. That's exactly the best course of action. I think we heard too many public comments, and we have to be fair. It is very close to a school, and I think it being on the wrong side of the street is not necessarily enough to
Ms. Donger, we have.
So again, ultimately, it'll be up to the applicant if they choose that they don't want to withdraw, and then I think we should proceed. So Raphael and Christina,
yeah,
what is your position?
We have proof of control. We're in a lottery period. If we don't have notification, essentially our application would be deemed abandoned. That's essentially what Ms. Dango, you would be asking Christina and Crystal to do, is to throw away 2 years worth of work here.
Okay, so
this is just, I mean, just to make sure, just so we're clear to all the board members here, this is actually the second time that Christina and Crystal have appeared before you guys. They have, not this committee, but CB8, they have been proactive in trying to lead the charge on how to do this safely and with your children in mind. The idea that you're going to be in this area without cannabis around is not something that you're going to be able to achieve. So I just would urge everybody to make pragmatic decisions on what
just
and I will
to be
say
clear,
I've never voted against a cannabis license application. So I'm just trying to find a solution so that you can get either the approval you need or we can get the information that we need.
Right, and I get it, but I'm just saying pragmatically, you would be asking them to abandon their application at this point.
So Raphael, so just so we're clear for the record, you're not. The answer is no. You want a decision to be made today. You're not interested in withdrawing and rolling over.
The abandonment of the application would be deemed almost the withdrawal of the notification would be the abandonment of the application itself.
Okay. Thank you. So then I would suggest we proceed with a vote and have a result. Okay, Russell, I see your hand up.
I should have said, sorry, I think my motion was undebatable, regardless.
It was not seconded.
Applicant.
It was not seconded.
Call the question.
I still see some hands here. What additional discussions are we having here, Barbara, that you want to share? The question's been called, so I would say let's go.
I'm seconding. That's all I want to do is second it.
Great. All right. Question been called. If anyone poses, let me know. Otherwise, we'll go to the roll. This is a motion to approve. If anyone would, I believe Bar with security. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please let me know. Okay. Marco?
No.
Robin? Robin?
All right, I'm a no.
Barbara?
My hand used to go down. I thought I lowered my hand. I'm sorry.
Okay. Valerie?
No.
Rebecca?
Abstain.
Okay. And then I am a no as well.
Abraham, you have Judy Schneider's hand up as well.
Judy?
No.
Okay, so that's 5 no, 1 abstention, and we're 13. So that's
Abraham, Lindsay Cormack has her hand up.
I'm a no as well. Sorry, I thought I was in the queue.
okay, so that's 6 no, 1 abstention. And we have 13 total, so that would be 6 yes, so then that would not pass. Does anyone want to make a different motion? Marco?
Motion to disapprove as presented. Thank you.
Okay, this is a motion to disapprove. Just going to call a question. If anyone objects to calling a question, let's go. Okay, so if you're voting no, not voting for cause, or abstaining on the disapproval, please raise your hand. This is a disapproval. Barbara?
No.
Rebecca?
Abstain.
Russell?
No.
Evan?
No.
Okay. Casey?
No.
And Lori?
No.
Bill?
No.
6 no. 1 abstention. And 6 yes. So we don't have a position either. Okay, so this will go as to the full board for a vote. So I definitely encourage you to attend. You can speak at this public session, and then the full board will will vote on this application. So thank you very much for presenting.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, next, do I have item 1E? This is Wall Street Canna Holdings, 802 Lexington on East 61st, between 61st and 62nd. Hi there.
Hi, good evening, board members.
Hi, good evening.
My name is Ariana Perez. I am one of the partners at Wall Street Canna Holdings. With me today, I have my partners, Brandon Bianco, who's also my operations manager, and Manny Robinson. We are applying for a dispensary license at 802 Lexington, and I'm going to pass it along to my operations manager, Brandon Bianco.
Hi, hello, board members. Thanks for having us here. Your time's very much appreciated. I'm Brandon Bianco. I'm thrilled to be stepping into the role of operations manager at Wall Street Canna Holdings. We're seeking approval for adult use cannabis dispensary at 802 Lexington. With nearly 15 years of experience in the legal cannabis industry, I have successfully opened dispensaries in 3 states, my most recent being Status Cannabis in the Bronx, just up there, working as general manager. If you have any questions about how the operations will run or you want to see it yourself, you can absolutely go there. I'm not a owner, just the general manager there. But if you look at the establishment, a lot of the things you guys were mentioning, people hanging out at front, or the signage. Those are things we don't have to worry about. At this location, we'd be doing the same. I'd be doing the same thing. 1 indoor security armed, 1 outdoor security to make sure that no one gets into the establishment that's under 21. Making sure that people don't loiter around the store. Everything that the illegal shops bring is what we look not to. Yeah, so throughout my career, I've consistently emphasized professionalism, customer service, community involvement, and strong commitment to security. Our hours of operation would be 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. With the possibility of 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. As far as security goes, I mentioned we'd have an armed indoor, unarmed outdoor. We'll have cameras, making sure that anywhere product can go or money will be, that the camera has footage of that. Panic alarms for any emergencies to make sure that the customers and employees are safe. Any specifics that the board would like to hear, I'd love to ask, be able to answer any of those questions. We are committed to transparency and collaboration. So, we want to work as closely with you guys as possible to make sure that it's not just good for us, but it's also good for the community. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'm going to pass it off to our partner, Manny, to speak a little more about the property and our vision. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Hey guys. How's everybody doing today? Thank you for taking the time and speaking with us tonight. Just to elaborate a little bit on what Brandon just said, we take safety very, very serious. On top of that, we take our community even more serious, right? So we want to be part of the community. So all your concerns, we're here to not get rid of them, but help you understand, right? So our main thing is to educate. The illicit shops are a nuisance. The only way to really get rid of these illicit shops is by approving legal. Legal is here to provide clean, safe products to adults 21 and older. Again, we take all the proper precautions to make sure that everything is being done according to the book and above and beyond. Like Brandon said, you can pass by the store in the Bronx, you wouldn't even notice that it's a dispensary. The frosted glass, we don't have neon signs out there. We're not out there like the illicit shops. Again, we're here to be part of the community. We're here to improve the community. We're here to add to the community. We're not here to take away from the community, right? So at this location, we are ADA compliant. It's roughly about 1,300 square feet. There are no schools or churches, registered churches, located in that area. We're further than 500 feet. I think it's 700 and like 850, or maybe even a little more. So rest assured that we don't want any trouble to be in front of our store, because one, that's bad for business, and two, it's bad for the community. And like I said, we're here to add, not take away. We're here to add the good, I should say. We're not here to add the bad. So with that being said, I am looking forward and hoping that you guys give us a chance to show you that we could be or will be part of the community and do well for the community.
Great. Thank you very much. One just quick question. Is this venue, is this the old pet shop?
No.
Or do you know what used to be in the space?
I don't know what used to be in space now.
Okay, I was just looking at the photos, but okay. So first I'll inquire if there's any members of the public on this application. Any members of the public? Seeing none, I'll go to Russell.
Thank you. I have two questions. The first is, can you clarify the status of the lease? Because it looks like in the application documents, it looks like it's sort of a draft. So it's not clear to me kind of if you have a signed agreement or what the deal is.
So our agreement will be finalized by the end of this week. We have that drafted agreement so you guys can see that we are in the process. The attorneys are taking care of that, and we shall have it by the end of the week.
I mean, what are the sort of terms that you're still figuring out?
That's on the attorney side. We're just pretty much going back and forth as far as what's rent looking like. And on top of that, that's pretty much it. I mean, everything else is pretty straightforward.
All right. I mean, look, price, the sort of rent amount is a sort of substantial, arguably the most substantial term, and the kind of thing that, one could see negotiations kind of, that would be a reason that you potentially wouldn't finalize it. The other question that I have is in terms of the signage and the external appearance, that I understand correctly, basically it's going to be the same as the version that was already, that was approved in the Bronx and is already licensed operating in the Bronx.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Russell.
And just for clarification on the contract right now, the amount is basically decided. We're just kind of deciding between 10 and 15 years right now, as far as I know. So that's what's just this final thing. We expect it to be done early next week.
Thank you. Barbara?
I'd like to move to approve this application. They've answered all the questions that we've been asking.
Thank you, Barbara. I see a second. Marco?
Thank you. Gentleman, Mr. Manny, there is a church on the same street between Lex and Thayer. The name of the church is Met Church. Apparently it's a Chinese or something like that I couldn't read that, but it's the Met Church on the same street that you are located between Lex and Thayer Avenue. And therefore
I will confirm that. But I'm positive that they're probably not registered as a church, but I will confirm with legal again.
Well, that's what it said in the Google Maps. I checked Google Maps, Google Earth, and all of them, they give me the same information. And thank you, and I'm going to recommend this approval of this application. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no other hands, I'm going to call the question. Does anyone oppose calling the question? Okay, seeing none. Okay. Rebecca, are you opposing calling the question, or are you getting ready to vote or abstain or not vote for cause?
I'm opposing. I'd like to know more about what Marco just said.
Okay, thank you. All right, so if anyone's voting no, not voting for cause, or abstaining, please give me a sign. Rebecca, I have you down as an abstain. Marco?
No.
Okay, Judy?
I didn't understand the resolution. Marco wasn't clear. Is this for or against?
This is back, it was a motion to approve.
Okay, I'm approving.
Okay. Any other no, not voting for cause or abstaining? Okay, so I have 1 no, 1 abstention. And then 10 yeses, and then 1 coffee. Okay, so that goes as a approval. Again, it was not unanimous, so you are encouraged to attend the full board meeting for the vote on the 15th. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for hearing us out. Have a wonderful night.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have the representative for 3F EHCA CNYC 1308 2nd Avenue between 68th and 69th?
I am looking for them right now, Abraham. I'm checking if they're here. Eric, I'm not seeing you. Eric, if you're here. I'm not seeing anyone waving.
And he was here earlier, right, Robert?
He was here earlier, and then I think he left. Yes.
Okay.
They left at some point after looking back at the chat, looking back some point after 8:50. That's when it appears in the chat after they left.
Yeah.
Okay.
8:55 for me, but yeah.
So I see hands. Is it because we want to make a motion to disapprove? No, Valerie, go ahead. Because I was just going to suggest before we take that motion, there's a couple of items in
I
category
say we
4.
move the agenda and
Yeah.
just discuss it at the next meeting.
Okay. Wait,
We'll let you know if he shows back up, and
Okay.
we can bring it.
Yeah, I would say let's go to the items in 4. Valerie, did you have a comment?
This is one, I just don't think the notice was proper on this one by the applicant.
Yep.
In the well, you know, Abraham, because I sent them to you guys. They didn't put up a proper notice, and I think we should lay them over for that reason. As you know, I don't think, even if they were here, to have them come to the full board meeting, I don't think it gives the public enough opportunity to even see the notice.
Well, what we have done in the past, and just not to be contrarian, what we've done in the past when somebody has done a whoopsie on their notice, and what happened here is they put up their 30-day notice form instead of the flyer that we sent them, is that we have sent them a brand new notice that we require them to post immediately after our meeting that directs people to come to our full board meeting if they have questions or comments about this. That is just what we've done in the past to allow the public a chance to comment. But usually we let an applicant present, but he may have run away, so I don't know.
Okay, all right. Well.
And then to answer any pending question, the notice was received on October 6th.
Okay, so that would also not get us to the full board, but it would get us to December street life if we decided to take that action and ask for the extension. Okay, well, let's go on to.
Sorry, I don't mean to slow you down.
Okay, yeah, so let's go to the items in 4 to see if we can address those, and if the applicant does not come back, decide to take an action on that item. So, okay, Robert or Will, have we heard anything from the applicants? Do we have an representative for item 4A?
4A was someone by the name of Harold Baines, but I'm not seeing Harold Baines here. Harold was expressing to me that they were planning on withdrawing. But I have not received a written confirmation. Everything was over the phone from Harold. So
okay, so for THC 4A, we have not received any documentation from them, correct, Robert?
Yep, that is correct.
Which includes no evidence of control of a space.
So for all the applicants under number 4, 4A, 4B, 4C, I have received no documents at all from any of them, no proof of control, etc.
Okay, and just I guess for the committee, we had noticed typically applicants should be able to demonstrate control of a location. However, the OCM said we should hear them anyway because they did notify us and they will consider it, but we are welcome to disapprove because they have not provided proof of control, and in this case, not provided anything at all, nor appeared. So I would recommend and suggest that we would move to disapprove these 4 applications for failure to appear and to not submit any paperwork, but that is just my suggestion, and I will take hands on this item. Rebecca.
And just because we're trying to be as fair as possible to all these applicants, so they have no reason to cite us as a problem, Robert is actually calling the applicant who we just skipped over.
Okay, thank you. Rebecca?
You have to unmute.
We will leave the applicant that Robert is calling, and I will therefore move to disapprove all others, as mentioned by Robert.
Okay, so disapprove 4A, 4B, and 4C.
Well, do we want to quickly make sure that nobody is...
Yes, let's also make sure that we don't have anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Enforced. Do we have anyone for Encore Retailer 307 East 60th?
Please raise your virtual hand.
Let's give him like 2 minutes.
I have, not to interrupt, I have Eric on the phone.
Okay. Will he be rejoining?
Let me double check.
So yeah, if you're here representing, was it 4B and for 4C?
Yeah,
Please
4B or 4C.
chat me or raise your virtual hand through the reactions icon.
And
looks like 4A through C are not here.
And for 4A, sorry, for 4B, 4B had no contact with our office on any email, phone, etc. And Eric said he's going to join the call again.
Okay, so 3F is rejoining. We have nothing for 4A, 4B, or 4C, and no one present for those. Okay. Rebecca, do you want to continue with your, are you moving to deny all those three together?
To disapprove everything except for this one unique situation.
Okay, so motion to disapprove 4A, 4B, 4C. Do we have a second? Okay, I see hands. I don't know if those are seconds. Okay, Russell?
Yeah, this is a minor thing, but why don't we hear the one we have and then give everyone the maximum amount of time to show up?
Happy to do that. Robert will let us know.
I don't agree, actually. I think they should have been here originally, and it doesn't seem like they were. So
sorry. If they never, okay, fair enough. If they never were here, it's not like they left
and they've not submitted, and they've not submitted any paperwork. So I think
fine. Okay, then I'm a second then instead of what I said.
Great.
I'm just
Thank you. Yeah, that makes sense.
And we were joined by Eric after this.
Okay, great. So let's conclude this. We have a second. I'd say let's call the questions. Anyone opposed?
Sorry, I have a point of information. Can Robert just say the Eric number so we make sure we don't vote?
Eric is
against that one?
3F.
3F is Eric.
So everything minus 3F is my original motion.
4A, 4B, and 4C. Great. Okay. Okay, let's call a question. If anyone opposes calling a question, let me know. This is a motion to disapprove 4 items, 4A, 4B, and 4F for failure to appear, failure to submit documentation, failure to show proof of control. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause, or abstaining, please let me know. No, not voting for cause or abstaining. 4A, 4B, 4C. Okay, those will go as unanimous disapprovals for the reasons cited. And now we can go back to 3F.
Eric, I'm going to send you a prompt to unmute on your screen. You should be on the lookout.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, good.
All right. I'm representing 1308 Second Avenue, not doing anything in the back and staying clear in the front. I mean, obviously I heard everything from before from the other location from 1317 Second Avenue, and that you guys are not going to approve nothing on the avenue. I actually wanted to speak about this before, that there is a liquor store across the street on the corner, and that it's kind of unfair, but I understand that you guys are just doing your jobs. So I have the location over there. We wanted to do a retail dispensary right there. Wanted to serve the community. We have MSK down the block, one of the biggest cancer hospitals in the world. I come from this background that we actually own a facility in California in the Desert Hot Springs where we grow marijuana, and I really wanted to bring it to New York and go about it like that. But I mean, we're still going to try, but I guess I'm not 100% about this location.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Do I have any members of the public on this application? Okay, seeing none, I'll go to Rebecca.
Oh, and another thing, I'm sorry to get back into this, but I wanted to see if it was possible. First of all, I wanted to offer that I would put 2 security guards in the front of the store, obviously frost out the front of the store that nobody can see what's going on, if in some way that can help.
Okay, thank you for
So what I would
that.
say is I'm not speaking to make a motion, but I do not believe you're that close to a school. I believe you may be in an appropriate spot, and I would love you to speak to that. And also, this board is not against cannabis stores. We just want to make sure we're doing our job for the community. So the more you can speak to the specifics, the more likely we will vote in favor of your establishment. So I'm asking you to speak to that.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I'm willing to do anything that keeps the children away, and even comprehending that there is a location over there that sells marijuana. That is what my promise is. And I want to serve the community. The demographic over there is perfect for marijuana and for all the medicinal uses of it, especially with MSK down the block, Lenox Hill a few blocks away.
Again, it's just if you're near a school, that's what we care about, and that's what we want to know.
And exactly what I was trying to get to the point of is whatever I need to do to keep the children safe is what I would do if I was approved.
So to answer this question, Rebecca, and I don't know if he's understanding, this location is on the southeast corner of 69th and 2nd, on the next block down on between 68 and 67.
Julia Richmond. So that
Correct.
should be disclosed in the application.
Yeah, so it's 1 block away. Again, based on the OCM rules, that the entrance is not on the same road is why they are able to say it's not within the 500 feet because of that, because it's not on the same road. It's on the avenue versus the main entrance for Julia Richmond is on the side streets.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
So go to other people for
Great.
comments.
Russell? Russell?
Thank you. Motion to approve with the stipulations proposed by the applicant. If it's second, I'll speak briefly or actually ask a question.
I see some seconds. Okay, go ahead.
So can you just confirm in terms of the signage, it's going to be compliant and not, intended to appeal to the kids at the school?
Fully compliant, no appeal whatsoever.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Barbara, Lori, and Bill.
This proves my point. There has been one application that isn't somewhere near a church or nursery school, a gym that the kids can fly down from the 10th floor to go to the thing. If it's not compliant, we shouldn't have stipulations. If it's compliant, it's not compliant, they're not going to get accepted. That's OCM will not accept them. So if they seem to be decent people, it's in somewhat of a location. If it's legally there, we trust that they will have it. We should, unless you're against marijuana, which is what I suppose people are, we should be voting for them.
Thank you, Barbara.
I will be supporting them.
Lori?
Can I make a motion to approve?
You may. Oh, wait, no, Russell already did that, actually.
Okay, can I second it?
Oh, already did that too? You can.
All right, we should just approve it and get this done.
You could call the question.
All right, I'll call the question.
There you go. Okay, does anyone oppose calling the question? Okay, seeing none. All right, there's a motion to approve. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, please give me the sign. Okay. Valerie.
Okay, no.
Okay. Judy?
No.
Marco?
No.
Rebecca?
It's just a point of order. I was opposed to calling the question.
My apologies.
But you're a yes?
Yeah, I'm a yes. It's
Okay,
fine.
just want to make sure.
But
Okay.
Robin?
Robin?
No.
Lindsay?
No.
And I'm a no. That's 6. No. And we're 13, so 9. Okay. That motion carries. All right, thank you very much. We still encourage you to attend at the full board meeting for non-unanimous applications. And that is the end of the agenda, unless there is any motions to adjourn or any old or new business. Rebecca.
I have new business. I hope we will make more of an active effort to coordinate with schools. I felt during a couple of these votes, I couldn't accurately decide what I wanted to do because we just didn't have representatives of those locations. So that's my request to the committee in the future.
So
to
seek out representation, to have representations of the schools present for these applications.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. If we are, if I barely have ever abstained in my community board career, but if I have to do so because I'm a little bit worried about a school, I would love to hear from them. And I want them to be reached out to.
Okay, thank you. Judy?
Yes, I hope Russell was still here. This is a suggestion from the East 60s neighborhood where I live. People do not take down their flyers after they have been heard at their meeting in the full board. I would like some resolution to, when we send out to all the people we hear, we give them a list of things they have to do and follow. One is to post a notice about their item. The next item should be, and they have to remove the notice that they have posted about the item. How do we get that done? And not just for this committee. That's why I said I hope Russell is here. This is for all committees. I walk around the East 60s and all I see are old community board notices. And I'm tired of ripping them off.
Well, I know for this committee, the instructions do include the requirement and to take them down.
Then could we please tell the people as they come before us and remind them that any posting they've done, they must remove once the meeting is over? I don't think we make enough of it, point of it. And certainly the other committees, the landmarks committee, any committee where there has to be a posting, they should have to remove the notices.
Okay, Judy, that sounds reasonable.
Okay. Thank you for listening.
And you
Barbara?
can send us just, you can send it when you tear them down, you can let us know which one it is and we can follow up with them too. I mean, I know it's gonna be after the meeting and whatever, but.
Great. Barbara?
I know I'm going to be very grouchy, but the suggestion that we have to make sure that schools come for the cannabis, please then have the schools come for every single restaurant that comes in front of us and every liquor store. I will say I haven't been a mother of young kids for a long time, but one of the worst memories I have is my son and his friends buying illegal liquor and one of the kids getting a reaction and having to go to the hospital. So liquor is no safer, and we should have the same rules for liquor and cannabis. And I know that's a ridiculous thing to say, but I'm being facetious. And we have
Barbara.
signs.
Thank you, Barbara. Again, the posting is for everyone from the public to have notice. Marco, next over to you.
Thank you. I would like that all the documentations, especially the regulations, should be sent to all community board members, so everybody knows the rules under which we going to work. I think has to be as soon as possible, and I will appreciate that happen. Thank you.
Valerie?
Just briefly.
Go ahead, Russell.
On that point, sorry, just like I mean, it was mentioned earlier in the meeting in another context, but I mean, in general, I think the principle really, I want to just sort of normalize this and use the same process for these applications that we use for other applications. So we don't send around, the relevant statute or regulation or whatever for other kinds of applications. We don't do it for liquor licenses. We don't do it for a whole host of other kinds of things. I mean, I just want us to have a sort of standardized process that's consistent with other applications. I don't want us to kind of treat this differently.
Well, and I think the idea is that, it's up to us to be informed on the regulations and what we're participating in. So,
and in this case, I think we were. I mean, I think there was no
correct.
question what the regulations said. I think there was a question about whether people felt the regulations were sufficiently stringent, but I don't think it was
That's right.
We knew what was there.
With all respect, but I think we need to read the text so everybody can see that we are being fair with all applicants.
But what's the issue?
That's the meaning.
What's the right? I mean, we knew it's a 500-foot rule. That's a rule. I don't think that's in dispute.
No, I think there is more language in this part. So this is better. So everybody in favor or against can read it, and so that the applicant have the same opportunities. That's it. Thank you,
Valerie.
Thanks. Well, 2 points. Number one, to Russell's point, I just want to say the way I'm distinguishing this from liquor store, I mean, restaurant is completely different in my opinion. This is a brand new set of regulations that nobody is really fully versed in yet, even the OCM, as they continue to change the regs and how they're interpreting them every other week. And so applicants, I feel sorry for them because they don't even really know what to do. So we're all, I want to commend Will and Robert and Abraham and everybody else because these things are changing all the time. So I think we need to get time to react. The rules are different for liquor stores than the cannabis stores, and the regulation says that it can't be closer. And on the same street. There's nothing which says that we can't set up our own policy for our own community that says it has to be further. It's not like the liquor store regulation that says you just can't be on the same street or avenue within 250 feet. It's a completely different regulation. All that being said, I just think that until we really get versed in how this is going to work going forward, and obviously there's going to be this huge rush to do this at the beginning, and it'll probably, diminish as we get populated with these stores, and by attrition or whatever business, they'll go out of business. But I just want to say, I think for the full board, until everybody really gets educated, I don't see the problem with just identifying schools and churches for people. So it would make it easier if that's a concern to go through the items in the full board meeting so that people have all the information.
Great.
At least until we get used to doing this.
Thank you, Valerie. Lori?
Hi. I'm tempted to just call for the end of the meeting, but but I can't resist just saying one last thing, which is that I think that everybody knows, certainly if you're a parent, you know where all the schools are on the Upper East Side. If you're a churchgoer, you tend to know where all the churches and or religious institutions are. And I really think that it is imperative that we get this going ASAP, because legal dispensaries are the answer to the illegal ones. The police are very hesitant to shut down the illegal ones because there's no alternative. And we know in New York State that cannabis is legal. And so there should be a place where people, citizens, tax-paying citizens on the Upper East Side can go to get the illegal product. I'll stop talking now. and I would call for adjournment of the meeting.
Thanks,
I don't
Lori.
know if I can
Rebecca?
do that at the same time, but go ahead.
No, you can't
Yep.
after you've had yours speak. Thank you, Rebecca.
So I would just add, I think, again, I abstained on votes I wasn't certain of because I'm genuinely in favor of legalizing the sale of cannabis. That being said, I think we have a responsibility as a community board to make sure all parties are represented in our meetings. I was upset to see that we didn't have any school people here. I have had friends who have been equally, their lives have equally been ruined by both either alcohol or marijuana. They have been equally as damaging. And I think we owe it to our community to listen to them and to listen to the proximity to schools. That doesn't mean we're against it. We're just trying to do our due diligence and doing what's best for the young people in our community. So I'm not against any cannabis establishment, but I think there are clear rules. And I think we have to, even if it's, you know, right, they get by because they're across the street instead of on the same road. I think that's something we need to proactively engage that school about before we make our decision. So I hope we do that before the full board meeting, and my vote will be decided pending how we respond and talk to the schools.
Okay, so yeah, so in response to that, and also, you know, Valerie had kind of made a similar point. I think I agree with Barbara essentially, and basically, I actually don't think that there's, so we wouldn't do that for, you know, a liquor license or a liquor store.
I think we should.
I don't, well, okay, fair enough, but we don't, and I don't think there's a sort of neutral way to do it. I think there's a sort of inherent stigma and an inherent kind of signaling that something is wrong, or that people need to do something when you do that. I don't think it's a purely neutral thing.
My point has nothing to do with whether it's instinctively wrong. It's let's invite the relevant parties to the table proactively.
Right, but well, okay.
That's
I mean,
what
we
I
never
would just see before I make a vote.
Understood. I mean, again, we don't do it for liquor licenses. I think it would be burdensome to add this sort of extra level of outreach on the part of whether it's the staff or the applicant that has to specifically reach out to that institution. And you know, again, I don't want to create a sort of like expectation on the part of the school that they feel like they then, having been notified, they have to show up, or an expectation on the part of the board, if we're talking about where the schools or the churches are, that this is, you know, that they're supposed to take from this information, that there's something sort of untoward about the location being where it is. I mean, I think all of that information can sort of be in the mix, and I think it's all come out for every single application that we've had. But I think if we sort of make a point officially of doing this, I think there's this inherent stigma again that I think you just sort of like, I just don't think there is like a neutral way to do it. And so that's why I want to just sort of keep everything the way we've done.
I never voted against a cannabis application until tonight, and I abstained. And I think all we have to do is make sure we invite everybody to the table.
Right. Okay.
And it won't affect my vote. I think that's something we as a community board need to make an effort to do.
Okay. Valerie.
Well, I just want to say, you know, not everybody knows where there are schools, because some schools don't put their signage up because they don't want anybody to know that there are actually kids in those buildings. So I just know that I spoke to the attorney for two of the applicants that were very close to a school building. And one of those was withdrawn before it even came up tonight, and the other one is laid over. So I'm not saying that we have to reach out to the school directly. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that not everybody knows where every school and church is. And me personally, I'm only interested in the school. I'm not interested in the church. The rule for the churches is fine as far as I'm concerned.
Fair enough. And look, the other thing is, you know, if people feel that it's too close or whatever, of course they can vote no, and that's they're within their rights to do that. My issue is, or the last thing that I would say, just you know, I don't think there was a single application where there was a question, you know, when it was close to a school, there was a question of whether it was or not. I think in every situation where it was some distance to a school that, folks were concerned about, that information was part of the discussion and came out. In every discussion where there was a question about how far it was or whatever, there's no dispute over what the rule requires and what people are looking for. So if there was some confusion about what the rule requires in terms of how many feet it is, required under the rule to be, then we could clarify that. We haven't had that in this meeting. That's not a disputed issue. Again, there's differences of opinion about how far we think is appropriate, but there's no question about what the facts are in terms of what the rule is. And so I don't think that's a matter that needs clarification.
Yeah.
And there were no questions about whether something was how close to a school or not. I don't think that's something that needs clarification either. It just wasn't again, we had differences of opinion as to what was appropriate. We didn't have any confusion as to where things were or what the requirements were.
I'm not sure that everybody on the call was aware of the rule that it says on the same road and no closer than 500. It doesn't say that that you have to, that's all that it doesn't say that you can't impose additional policy requirements on that. It doesn't say that. And so I
know. And I have no problem.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And I think that's all that Marco was saying, is that if everybody has the reg and knows it, but since we have a million items,
I don't think anybody
didn't know
asserted that we are obligated to approve any application that is technically compliant, or that it was inappropriate or whatever, or not permitted to make your own judgment about how close you think is too close.
Oh, that's true. I'm not disagreeing with you about that. Well, it's up to you guys, whatever you want to do. I don't.
Lindsay.
I think we're all circling the same point, but I feel like every one of these applicants put their signs up, and it's kind of incumbent upon representatives from the schools to come if they want to. I don't know that it's our job to proactively outreach to them. That's all.
Okay, Barbara.
I was going to say the same thing. We do tell the public they have to. If they don't post, then we vote no on them. It's just been, I find that it's the people that vote no and I don't mean to, you have a right to vote no, but don't vote no and make complicated reasons why. There's rules. And the other thing I'll say, Abraham, you could back me up with this. The Health Senior started off with the first meeting, and then the Street Life took over several meetings of going over the regulation. There was time to talk then of what to do. This is the way it is, and we could vote no and it would be overturned, or we'll just keep having illegal shops that are much more scary than the legal ones. And again, I'm going to repeat there's a rare street that doesn't have something, a church, a playground, a school, or something on it that won't cause it. And we're using some sort of standard, which is basically saying we're not going to approve any cannabis shops.
Okay,
which is what happened this year. This time, I don't think there was one where there wasn't a school nearby or a church. Am I right? I don't think there was one.
Thanks, Barbara. Lori? Motion to adjourn. Did I hear you? Did I read your lips?
Yes, motion to adjourn.
I'm seeing a lot of seconds. All right. Thank you, everyone, for putting in the time on this long meeting and, again, these important applications. And we'll continue to grow and learn together. Thank you.